Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs. Welcome to this installment of the Hewkii and Flammeus show.
What's up?
What is up? We had for our guest today the most honored and esteemed Icarus480, and he had much to tell. Let me tell you, that was
Yeah,
this was quite a deep dive on this one
yeah, we went
in many
into
ways.
obviously psychedelics, uh, and we talked about the positive potential. We talked about the potential for uh, horrible things to happen as well. We went into some
And
interesting
we
stories
we
around that.
proclaimed that we would put a disclaimer in the intro. We don't recommend anybody necessarily try any of the stuff mentioned. Uh,
Yes, a lot of those stories are fun stories that are not to be replicated. But I'm
yeah,
I think you'll find
proceed with
something
caution.
useful in there as well. It's a lot of interesting stories and useful stories as well, and some
Yeah,
wild, crazy stories in there.
got quite personal there as well near the
Yeah,
end.
he's such a
Uh,
genuine dude, and he's what I admire is that he's so open about talking about those more personal topics, and
yeah, yeah, it's
I think
beautiful.
that's very valuable for people to
I
hear.
don't think we've ever really had anybody open up quite that deeply, on the show
Yeah,
emotionally. I was
yeah, exactly.
So that's about the last half hour or last 40 minutes or so if
Hmm.
anybody wants to get straight to the teary part.
Yeah,
But if you're in for the psychedelic stories and the fun times, then
yeah.
you're in the right place if you just
And
let the
and we
episode
also went
play.
into I was scrambling around to find my new Shpongle book.
Oh yeah, you
Uh,
found it. You didn't find
I
it on the
found it,
episode.
the artifacts and neurological antiquities, and me and Icarus are both very, hardcore Shpongle fans,
I had a
and
beautiful little moment there.
talked about his uh, going to shows. Shpongle, I think one of the shows he was on. Yeah, it's this one. I don't know if you could see anything, but
Not
this was
really.
the show that he was on in Red Rocks,
Oh,
Shpongle.
right. Yeah, I remember that.
Um, so went into that, went into many other fun avenues and crazy wild stories and
So,
good
well,
times.
well, without further ado, please enjoy.
Icarus480. Welcome to the show, Icarus480. Dare I say,
What's
a
up?
legend of the game.
Thank you very much for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I think
super
I
good.
just want to start off by asking how was the hardcore show the other day, and maybe you could explain to people that don't know what the hardcore scene is and how you went from being a hardcore kid to a psychedelic legend.
Okay.
Let's start off there.
Psychedelic legend. Wow, thank you. Uh, so the
Psychedelic
hardcore show I went
heavyweight.
to the other
Yeah.
day was Terror Ended and this band Pain of Truth. So I've been listening to Terror since I was probably like 14 years old, I want to say. They've been in my life for a very long time, but I've seen them a few times. Now, what hardcore is, it's kind of a mixture of punk and metal. If punk and metal had a baby, you would have hardcore music. I found the hardcore scene through a very good friend of mine. His name is Dylan Porter. He passed away. I actually have his initials tattooed on my face. He's one of the greatest human beings I've ever met in my life. I was a young kid on the reservation, and I'm half white, so I was and I was real skinny. I was a really easy target, and Dylan kind of saw that in me, and he wanted to help toughen me up, and he took me under his wing, and he introduced me to the hardcore scene. The scene. The lyrics of hardcore really speak about like feeling alone in the world and like your anger, and it really spoke to like who I was at the time, and it's something that's accompanied me my whole life through the darkest times of my life, like while I've been homeless and stuff like that. It's honestly, I was safe to say, it's safe to say that genre of music has stopped me from killing myself. Like it's been such a major outlet to me. So I've actually introduced my children to it. Well, my son, my youngest son's not old enough, obviously. I have a 14-year-old son, but and my stepchildren, they're 12 and 10. They came to the show with me. And yeah, man, it was awesome. I'm still sore from it. I do a lot of stage diving and moshing, and the moshing we do is not really uh, like push moshing. We like dance, I guess you can call it. We kind of swing in a rhythmic kind of pattern, and we just get our anger out and stuff like that. But um, to answer your question about how I went from being a hardcore kid to a psychedelic dude,
A
so it's
legend.
actually something I've kind of like been dealing with lately because I've gotten more deeply back into the hardcore scene as of lately. But so like I said, like I was raised in on the reservation and I was fought a lot and I just had I was kind of like it was just me and my friends against the world, you know what I mean? And I grew up with that mindset for many years. I was in the hardcore scene and I grew up with a lot of anger and just I was kind of real self-centered and egotistical and the first time I ever took a psychedelic, which was LSD, it like some people I you know have seen experience psychedelics for the first time. It's kind of like, well, that was cool. Now it wasn't just like, wow, that was cool for me.
Yeah.
Rocked my boat. Like it
Yeah.
opened my eyes to a whole new way of thinking, and that's like the way of thinking was is that you know I love hardcore, and I'm always going to carry hardcore with me. But the thing about it was is I needed to see like what else was out there. Like I just began. It really opened my mind to like the beauty of what everything has, like just old school music and just different cultures. And I just, instead of being like, woe is me and like, fuck the world hates me, I was like, I want to experience the world and be like, really understand it. You know, it opened me up. And yeah, I kind of followed that. And I was like, hey, I need to tell people about these experiences and just kind of, you know, catered to that. And yeah, that's how it all kind of worked out for me.
Yeah, man. I recently listened again to your maybe your first bicycle day trip report, and
Okay.
I reached out to you on bicycle day to invite you on the podcast. And you know, I never get tired of showing off my bicycle day tattoo.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you, dude. Um,
Hugh
so
doesn't mess
and you were
around.
talking about, you know, dropping acid and going on the bike and listening to Peter Pan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, I do remember that. That if I am correct, was that the bicycle day where we saw the Eagles?
I
I
don't 2016, I think it was.
yeah, I can't remember. I've celebrated bicycle day quite a few times. It might have been where I don't know. Yeah, but bicycle day is always great. I haven't celebrated in a few years, but when I'm out on April 19th, I'm always looking for people in tie dye riding the bike. I'm like, there they are. There's my people.
Yeah, the culture is
But
not as rich over here. You're
oh
not gonna
yeah.
see. I mean, Iceland is so small, so you know,
Oh okay.
It's
yeah.
still, yeah, it's still mostly a bit taboo, honestly. I mean,
Okay.
It's shifted like
yeah,
in many places, but you know,
it's getting
Yeah.
there.
Well, that's beautiful. I'm glad to hear that. So like if you were to partake in like if you like I saw recently you guys did a like 5-MeO DMT.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Hewkii did.
it
Yeah.
yeah, like did you guys facilitate that yourself? I wasn't able to listen to the whole podcast, but
no. So I was doing it with you know, maybe he's the most famous Flammeus guy out there,
okay.
Martin Ball, and he came here to train a group of people to facilitate it.
Mm,
So I got to actually be just a guinea pig for the group, and we just
yeah.
had a whole group of you know,
You got a free
professionals.
ride.
I got a free ride with a group of professionals, you know, keeping me safe. And
Yeah.
man, it's you know, I haven't actually done a lot of like regular DMT. I've done a
Okay.
bit of it, but I've done quite a bit of 5-MeO, and
Okay.
I think is it the reverse for you? I've heard you talk about DMT a lot, but
Yeah, so and dimethyltryptamine is my boy. I've only done 5-MeO DMT one time actually. On just a whim. I was at a friend's house, rest in peace to my boy Tyler. I was at his house and um they had it and they asked me if I had ever smoked it, and I said no, and I pretty much essentially became the same thing, which was a guinea pig, and they just threw it on a heated like dab nail, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I smoked it that way, and yeah, it was crazy. I remember sinking into the couch, and it almost like my body became like a puddle, and it differed a lot from dimethyltryptamine because I had no like it wasn't visual at all for
It's
me.
not.
No, it wasn't. It just felt like I was sitting with God, and
Oh yeah.
like oh yeah, like I was becoming an angel or something. Like my body was turning into an angel, and all of a sudden I have all the answers. And then I wake up and my friend's like, "Yo, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
I've had plenty of experiences with and dimethyltryptamine and ayahuasca. Well, not plenty, but I've drank an ayahuasca twice.
mhm. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
done
that's
that, but I
you've
haven't
drank
done the.
ayahuasca.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. There's
Uh,
shamans that come here from the US to Iceland, and
oh, that's awesome.
yeah, so it's
Have
it's
you
it's usually people coming from abroad.
Okay,
have you tried smoking crystal DMT as well?
crystal DMT. Like,
Like I
what do you
think
mean?
it's I might be getting
And
my
then
terms
DMT
mixed up
just
for
Like crystallized?
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
just
Yeah, that's all. That's the only form, like method I've smoked it.
oh,
Um,
sorry, I missed that. Okay.
oh no, you're fine. Yeah, the first time I smoked DMT though, I thought I was dead. Like I thought I had a conscious thought going into it that I thought I was gonna die, that I had died, because I found the DMT just randomly. When I first, like I mentioned, my first psychedelic trip was with LSD, and that happened on a whim. A friend had came over, and we had gotten to the topic of like drugs, and at that time, all I'd done is weed and coke. Like I tried coke a couple times, like at a party and shit, and they just talked about those times. And he was telling me all this crazy shit about mushrooms and acid, and I was like, yo, that acid, and he's like, yo, that sounds cool as fuck. He's like, yo, I actually have 2 hits, like I'll sell it to you. I was like, all right, and an amazing experience in itself. But after that, like I had no connections, like he couldn't get any more, and I was like, lost for it. So like me finding psychedelics, it took a while to be able to figure out that game. But once I found DMT, it was completely random. I was just on Instagram searching through the like explore page, and I had searched hashtag DMT, and there was just looking through like the cool photos of like art and stuff that everybody had, and there was one picture of a guy and he was pouring it onto a like a piece of cardboard or something. It was just a photo. And then I just commented on it and I was like, man, you are so fucking lucky. Cause it was like at that point, like almost a year, like constant search of like, do you like finding the Holy Grail? Like, do you know where I can find DMT? And I was always, I can find it. Like, and it would never come through. And I just commented and that guy messaged me and he was like, hey, I can't help but notice 480 is in your name. And I was like, yeah. He's like, are you in Phoenix? I'm like, well, I'm in Tempe. He's like, I'm in downtown Phoenix, which is, they're right next to each other. And I was like, this is God, dude. So I met this dude and he looked sketchy. He was kind of sketchy, just sketchy as in like fully tattooed, like, you know what I mean? Like it looks like some prison tat stuff. So I was like,
Yeah.
huh. And I wasn't sure what to expect, but I had taken it home. I took it home that night and I tried it and I just had a very like highly, like it felt like somebody dosed me with like 20 hits of acid and it lasted 5 minutes. But then the next night or the next morning, I woke up super early in the morning and I was just looking at that bag and I was like, that's not what Terence talked about, Terence McKenna. Like, I didn't see the elves, so I'm like, I can't be doing this right. So I went and I took a little bit of a little bit of weed and then I put it in my pipe and I put some DMT and then more weed. And when I hit it, and I'll like try to explain this in as detail as possible if you guys are cool with it.
Yeah, go
Um,
for it. Let's go.
yeah.
Please.
We're all
So I
for that stuff.
remember I took one giant hit of this weed or of the weed and I cherried it and I held it in and I could taste like the bitterness and I like the harshness in my lungs. But like as every second ticked by, it was like somebody turned up the color and the hue, and everything became just so much more hyper. I became so much more hyper aware of everything. And I had music in my ears. I plugged in with headphones. So I took a second hit. As I held it in, it kind of everything kind of turned like orangish, like red. And all of a sudden, like everywhere I looked was the flower of life, all over my walls, everywhere I looked. And there's this loud fucking in my ears. I took
There's a
one more,
tone.
but like through that like ringing, it's almost I can hear like something cheering me on. Keep going, just a little bit more. And so like I took one more hit, and now I'm looking at my roof. Like I lay back in my couch, I'm looking at my ceiling at the flower of life, and now it's like I'm like levitating towards it, like I'm floating, and I'm like losing feeling in my body. And I remember as I'm slowly floating towards it, like thinking to myself, I feel like I'm flying. Like there's no way. And I like turn to look behind me. Everything's still all geometric, but I see myself passed out on my couch. And then like it's like involuntarily turned back to that pattern in my roof, and it opens up into this tunnel, and there's just thousands of eyeballs looking at me, and some like blinking did simultaneously and shit. And like there's a light, and I'm headed towards it, and like I'm starting to resist, and it's becoming really scary because I'm like, oh my God, this is the light everyone talks about. I'm dying. Like whatever this guy sold me is not DMT. Like I'm overdosing right now, and I'm freaking out trying to like wake myself up. And then I just hit that light, and it was just game over. So I'm like, I was flying through this cosmic roller coaster of time, where time, everything spun like a work, like years in a clock. Like these geometric patterns were all so futuristic yet so sacred. And I'm still like, I have no idea what's going on. And all of a sudden, this presence talks to me and tells me, like, calm down, like, you're okay. Experience this. You're going to be okay. And it's like at that moment, like I became God's thumb. Like I understood everything, like the answer to everything. It all completely made sense. And like I was in this endless place. Like I didn't see any beings at that point, but it was just the existence of extraterrestrial or higher dimensional beings. They're all around me, and they were all pouring me with love, and they were pouring me with knowledge. And then all of a sudden it's like, don't forget. And then I come back, and I'm like back in my house. Everything looks like Super Mario. And I'm like, that's what Terence was talking about. And yeah, man, it's magical, DMT. I still, I'm sober now, but DMT, it should not be held. It should be given to the world, man.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca, mushrooms, I believe that these are truly keys to what we are looking for as a society, the keys to what keeps us locked in this fucking
Yeah.
sadistic, like sick world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We could not agree more. And simultaneously, I think we're almost too immature as a culture to know how to handle them. And it's so
Right.
interesting that these profound tools just make their way by chance into people's hands.
Yeah.
That in Aboriginal cultures, you have to kind of train your whole life to be a shaman. You really
But
need
it's
to.
Yeah.
also interesting how, like you said at the beginning of the episode, that oh wait, what was I gonna say? You said
About how some people have like a profound experience with it and some people
oh
don't.
right, yes, that
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let me
Yes.
go there.
that point.
I
Because
read your
I mean
mind.
that just blow. Thank you. Yeah, we're so in sync by episode 30 here. Um, yeah, it blows my mind every time I hear about something like that. Man, it's like how could you possibly take a strong dose of a psychedelic medicine and not come back completely utterly changed forever?
Yeah.
It's incredible to
See,
me.
well, I would say like what the world needs is like they stop with the lies of what psychedelics are. Like, like if it's done proper, it's all about the mindset and the understanding. But the thing with me, it kind of contradicts what I'm saying, because I had no knowledge of, I like when I first got into psychedelics, like it was like, hey, try this, like it sounded cool, but I wasn't like prepared for it to really change my life. But I think the knowledge of it, like what I kind of do, I feel like that's necessary for people who are profoundly affected, to say, hey, look, you have to look into this deeper, like look past just the cool, trippy melting of the walls, like close your eyes and look inside yourself. That's really the answer that, most people, I think, tend to shy away from when they do psychedelics. That because when I first took like the first time I took psychedelics, when everything kind of calmed down and I was like, less astonished upon everything happening in my world, it took just a minute of me following the trail of like looking at where I was in my life. And I made a change in that moment, or a realization in that moment, I should say, that made me want to change what I was going through. And I'll explain it. At the time, like I mentioned earlier in this episode, I had a 14-year-old son. I have a 14-year-old son. He was, at the time, I want to say maybe he was probably like 3 at the time. And me and his mother weren't together. We had split up. I had left the town that they were from, not far. They're probably about 40, 50 minutes away from me, but a different town nonetheless. And the town I was living in, there was nothing going for me. I still hate that town to this day. Nonetheless, I had to get out of that town. So I'd found opportunity in Phoenix, Tempe, and that's where I went, and that's where I was living. And at that moment, like we were, not together, and it clicked to me, like, what am I doing? Like, yo, you made it out here. Like, you need them back in your life, And I reached out to her after that acid trip, and I was like, hey, like, I can't lie to myself. Like, I miss you guys. Like, we should try this again, type shit. And we did, and we were together for years after that. We were no longer together, but that time didn't really work out. But she's still, great individual. We're great friends and everything, and my son's happy. So, but like, that's what I'm saying is, like, in the moment, like when you look inside yourself, the psychedelic's going to pull out like what you truly need when you're searching for that answer.
Yeah.
It's not, maybe it might take some time. It's maybe not going to be like as instant as it was for me in that moment, what I needed at that time. But, something, it puts that seed in you, and if you keep watering it, it grows.
But only if you're open to perceiving it.
Absolutely.
As you said, it's really,
yeah.
really, like even in the psychedelic realm, because you can have your eyes open, or your, quote unquote third eye open in that way.
Yeah.
In sober everyday life, and you can have it in the psychedelic realm. It really can go both ways in both states.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think some people are ripe for it, and others aren't really ready to go there.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy stuff happen.
Some crazy
but
resistance.
I'm happy to have been like experienced enough to where I can help people whenever they're going through that. Not to like, blow my own whistle here or anything, but just because I've been in that mindset, it's so terrifying at the moment. Like, it's always good to have that upper hand, to be there to like, hey, it's going to be okay.
God.
Because the nightmares that can occur are nothing to play with,
No.
Especially, that's always before you take the psychedelic, after you do it, like a lot of the time after I had a bad experience, well, okay, I'm done, I'm never doing this again. But I always ended up going back to
it. Yeah. For me, I had a very bad case of a bad trip about what was it, 4 or 5 years ago now, and I'm only like fully recovered just about now. Like I've had a couple deeper psychedelic experiences about 3 years ago as well. But now I'm finally at the point where it's like it feels fully behind me, and I'm ready to trust wherever the psychedelic medicine wants to take me again, and kind of to surrender, without any cockiness or anything, because you can't go in with that arrogance, being like, yeah, I know what I'm doing here. Because you'll get slapped in the face. So you always got to go in with the humility, and I feel like I'm at a place where it's not hard for me anymore.
Hmm.
Like I'm not scared of going in because for the longest time after that bad experience, I was just like, I would feel the psychedelic effect coming on if I ever tried it. And as soon as
Yeah.
I realized that the visual imagery was distorting, I was like, oh no, 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 this is bad,
I mean,
bad,
it's
bad,
kind
bad,
of like
bad,
a
bad,
PTSD
This is-
response.
yeah, yeah, totally. So I mean, well, I had what was undoubtedly the worst 10 hours of my life on a substance called LSA, which is to be found in what's known as
Morning glory seeds.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Or might also be known as magic
Hawaiian
weed.
baby Woodrow seeds or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
I haven't taken it before or since, and I've not met many people or any people actually before YouTube probably who've even heard of LSA, even experienced psychedelic heavyweights on by my reckoning.
I have a
But
question
yeah,
about that.
yeah,
So the LSA, if I may ask, you took them like you took the seeds?
yeah. So yes, what you do, I don't remember this 100%.
Okay.
So I might get something wrong, but it was dry seeds or beans. Like they're kind of like these. They almost look like chickpeas in my memory. Again, I might be totally wrong. Go fact check me on this, everybody. But then you kind of dissolve this in water, and you drink the water after a couple hours, I think, of just letting them lie in water, and you eat the beans as well, or the seeds, or whatever it was
Okay,
exactly.
so I was gonna say I've done this before, and I probably did it horribly wrong. So,
Yeah, you had a bad experience as
yeah,
well.
because there was this there's this well, it's probably still there on Mill Avenue in Tempe. It's right by ASU. There's this little like hippie shop kind of. It's like a plant shop. It's called Happy High and Healthy Horny Herbs. And yeah, wild, right? And they used to have they have like everything in there, like essential oils, sage, like all these like medicinal herbs. And I used to go in there a lot, and I used to buy Syrian rue, monoamine oxidase inhibitor. Yeah, so I would take that before I smoke DMT or mushrooms, and it makes it more intense and lasts longer. Fun fact.
Right. Right. We talked
Um,
about that on one of our latest
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
episodes, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So, if anyone's just wondering out there, they're completely legal to possess and own. They're called Syrian rue. Seeds of Syrian rue. You take 2 grams, 45 minutes before you take mushrooms or DMT. Be very, very careful because this is no joke.
You can
But
also take them before doing some kind of DMT breath work as well, and the
I
DMT
heard
will
somebody who was doing it before meditation and basically started to trip on DMT.
oh,
like
really?
because you
Yeah,
can like your body can
reduce.
produce DMT as well, so you can take that and then produce enough DMT to to actually
That's
totally
awesome. I've
yeah.
never heard that. But
But wait, is it
yeah.
seeds or is it? I heard it's root bark, or is that a
They were
different thing?
seeds. They're like little black seeds. They kind of look like tiny watermelon seeds, but more brown.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got the Hawaiian baby Woodrow seeds there. And I had this friend named Joe. He was like real into mescaline. Um, and nonetheless, but he had came over and he was like, "Yo, you got to try this." And he did something with like soaking them in like a paper towel or something, and then eating the seeds. I assumed we did it horribly wrong because all that happened was I had the worst stomach ache of my life and nothing
Yeah.
happened. So I
Yeah,
was like, I'm never doing this shit again.
yeah. You did okay, at least you didn't have the psychedelic effects to boot. I was so sick the whole time. I wanted to vomit
Sucks.
and like I I don't know if this is too much information, like but I feel
No, we're
comfortable
gonna go
sharing
there.
this.
Let's go.
So but there was a time during the trip where I was suffering so intensely physically and it was feeding into the mental suffering at the same time, and became this endless shit spiral. I was just feeling so sick, wanting to vomit. I tried a couple times, didn't work. Um, and like it's always been the case with me for some reason. Even with when I was experimenting with alcohol as a teenager, I was like, I never vomited. I would always just kind of tough it out through the pain because
Yeah.
I hate vomiting. It's so
Yeah.
I do tend to avoid it. So anyway, I'm in this state of not being able to throw up and knowing that I need to throw up for this to stop, but I can't. And so I go to the bathroom. I kind of crawl over to the toilet seat, just like gotta make it over there in this kind of army crawl, and then I just put two fingers down my throat to gag myself and try to get vomiting, and it
Yeah.
doesn't work, but I keep going. This is the really disturbing part. I keep going, gagging myself because that was preferable as a distraction from the other suffering that I was going through. You know? So I just was on there. I knew I wasn't going to throw up, but I was like, oh, this is better than
It's helping.
yeah.
See, I
This is
totally thought, yeah, that's way better. I thought you were gonna say I was gagging myself and ended up like shitting myself. So yeah, I was totally in a whole nother realm there.
okay. Well, okay. I mean, I've heard you got the wildest stories out there, so I should have known.
Yeah.
Like,
So that dude, that's the same thing with my relationship with psilocybin. Is I love them. I love mushrooms. I actually prefer like a high dose of mushrooms over LSD because I take psychedelics to ultimately learn, and I get the message much more with mushrooms. But the problem with mushrooms is my stomach. I mean, when I first started taking mushrooms, it was never like this. I don't know why. After years of taking them, it started beginning to where like I could not stomach them like whatsoever. Like I would get the effects and everything, but the whole time, like you said, is like you're just sick. And it was not like to the point where it was nightmarish or I was having a bad experience, but um it's just like that's all you can focus on is like, God damn, I'm so sick. Like, and then you're
Yeah.
throwing up. And I've learned the mushroom tea is probably like the best, but yeah, I totally get what you're saying with like it just makes it so uncomfortable having that sickness.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
not
was.
only are you
Yeah.
tripping, you're
But see, with
feeling of the
ayahuasca,
nausea. It's like, yeah, ayahuasca is different.
yeah, like you feel so good, like to throw up on ayahuasca, like it
It's
really
the
like you're
best.
just oh my God, like
Yeah, it
yeah, dude,
is.
it feels like you're wringing out your soul of all the toxins and
Yes,
shit, fanning
100%.
yourself out.
And it's so hard to describe to people like, wait, it's pleasurable to throw up? Like you do not understand.
Yeah,
It's the best
Uh,
fucking thing.
okay, I'm up
and
for this. Let's
I'll
try it
even
out.
go out even further and say like I nobody likes to hear somebody like throwing up and stuff, but when you're in an ayahuasca circle and you hear somebody throwing up, like you're like, yeah, dude, get it the fuck out, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like you're cheering them on.
Yeah, because it's you're in this kind of collective space and you really your senses are so heightened that you feel whatever's happening in the space.
Yeah.
And I remember one point, the last time I did it, at one point, you know, sooner or later in every ceremony, I'll grab the guitar and I play for the people.
Nice.
And when I did this in this ceremony, when I really started to play and I like got into like more energetic playing, when that
Mhm.
reached the peak, everybody in the ceremony started to purge because
Oh,
just the energy of the playing was clearing out so much for
Yeah.
people.
You're just sitting there hitting free bird.
That was exactly
Yeah,
it's the
man, there's
best
that's
some
the
feeling.
magical stuff that
the only story that would make people puking to your music a good thing.
the yeah, some magical stuff happens on ayahuasca. I remember this was my first ayahuasca experience. It took me through like Mother Ayahuasca took me through all these different points in my life, and like it was just well, I know this is actually my second ayahuasca experience. It took me through my first ayahuasca ceremony was incredible. Just I was on top of the universe, dude. Rainbows and cotton candy clouds, dude. Like awesome. I was allowed to able to basically communicate with a great friend of mine who I had lost at that point in time. Rest in peace to Jesse Hendricks. It was awesome. So the second time I go into my ayahuasca experience, I was expecting like, oh man, like I wonder what's in store this time. I had good intention and good thoughts going into it, hopes, I guess. It was horrible, man. It was a
Mm.
terrifying experience. It made me relive like a lot of like traumatic things throughout my life. I didn't say this in my video. I'm old enough to now say it. I'm a victim of sexual abuse as a child. I will say not from family members, but I was. And I had to go through each and every one of those experiences. I had to go through all the like traumatic like bullying I went through and everything. The whole ayahuasca experience was catered to like just such dark things in my life, to the point where like I was just completely broken down and like, you know, begging like ayahuasca, like make it stop, like make it stop. And it was like, no, like this is a part of you. This is who you are. You have to be reminded of it. And it says what you're going to do is you're going to take all these bad feelings and you're going to just throw them into a pot of positivity, and you're going to understand like the path you walk on is much easier than the path that you came from. And you have to be grateful for like who you are, because this path that you walk forward, it's going to be much harder to break you, having gone through this and knowing and having gone through this twice. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this negative energy that I've put in you, we're going to turn it into positive energy, and you're going to pass it around to everybody in this circle. And that's what I did. It's like I astral projected over everybody, and I was throwing like vibrations and like golden light into them. And ayahuasca pretty much told me like, as anything happens in your life that comes in that's negative, you're going to do exactly what you did right now. You're going to take it, you're going to turn it positive, and you're going to give it out. You're going to give it out. And that's what I try to do in my everyday life now. That negative shit happens, you know, I try to find the easiest, you know, most positive way out, as we should as humans. But it was a lot harder for me to do that back in the day, because I hoisted all that anger and all that trauma and stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's like so much to go through for a kid as well. Like I think the intelligence of the body and the psyche, we think of all these things like the trauma responses maybe as being mistakes, but I think they're deeply intelligent. They're keeping them away from you because you're not capable of dealing with that in a certain moment. And then in
Yeah.
these states, it actually allows you to uh, go in there and deal with it.
Navigate through them in a sort of
Yeah,
sense.
because they're
Yeah.
trying to protect you. The ego is always trying to protect itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, with that, like, I have since gone through the most traumatic experience since I've drank an ayahuasca, which is the passing of my father. Uh, so the thing with that is I like constantly, ever since he's died, I've wanted at like, because what I've known is psychedelics, you know, like what I've known is like, oh, like I need the answers from this. And ever since, you know, he's died, I have taken psychedelics until I had gotten sober. But the thing is I still deal with that to this day, like the hurt and the trauma. But I am doing what ayahuasca taught me, and I'm trying to live my life taking like those negative feelings and still, you know, making my life positive, which I think I'm doing a pretty good job of. But you know, like one day, you know, I'm one day there will be a time where I'm going to journey back to ayahuasca, but I just know at this point in my life, it's not that time yet. You know, and I know when that time will come, and maybe then I'll have those answers. But right now, I feel the best trying to figure it out myself. You know, I feel that's the route to take on this.
Mhm.
So yeah,
It's unnecessary to hurry that up at this
no,
point.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Yeah,
Uh,
I think that's so valid, man, and I think that's such a necessary point to make, and a precaution to take really with
mhm.
psychedelics. Just yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. I was just making sure my thing was turned up, but you're good.
Yeah, knowing when to stay away also is
Yeah,
because it can be easy, especially when you have a very positive experience too.
Yeah,
Early on,
so
it's a big mistake early on for a lot of people. Like, well, this is gonna solve everything. We're just
yeah, we
gonna.
gotta
yeah,
just
like going back to what we were saying with you wanting to like take the time to, you know, you said you got comfortable to be able to do it again and stuff like that. See, the psychedelic really gives you, like, when you take it, gives you the respect that it deserves, because you know, like, you'll back then, before I kind of had those bad experiences, I would take it. And now, like, if I were to take it today, I'd be like, oh, somebody said some shit to me and it's coasting around in my mind. You know what I mean? It just gives you that respect to know when or not to. But
yeah,
um,
yeah, to
I
kind of
learned a lot about, you know, just kind of like my mindset when I got locked up. I kind of focused a lot on like dealing with my problems, like trying to coast through them through distractions. Like now, a lot I chop wood a lot to get my anger out, and I go to hardcore shows. But there's so many things out there that like I've learned because back in the day, I always kind of leaned on psychedelics to try to like, oh, this will be the answer. But I think like psychedelics in the past few years, from my last experience, they were telling me to hang up the phone, you know.
Hmm.
But so I mean, people everywhere get to that point, but who knows?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I, I can certainly imagine that there would logically come an endpoint where they don't have anything more to teach you for where you're at this
Yeah,
stage in your journey. And also, what you mentioned about being cautious before about not going into fresh trauma immediately, like you just want to like kind of let that um yeah, you don't need to speed up the healing process on that one, just to make sure that you don't put yourself into the re-traumatization zone
yeah.
out of the three, because the best thing, I think we've discussed this model on the show as well, have you, right? I mean, where the
The concentric
innermost
circles, I don't
cons
remember who did it, but it's the safety zone and kind of the out of the stretch zone and then the danger zone.
to not
And
Hmm.
not put yourself in the danger zone, and to keep alternating between comfort zone and kind of stretchy zone, um,
yeah,
with
because when you're in the safety, that's where integration and rest happens. Then when you go out of the comfort zone, that's when you learn and you stretch your boundaries, and then you go back and you rest and
Hmm.
integrate. But if you stretch it too far into the danger zone, that's where trauma happens. Um,
And that's probably what happens to a lot of people who don't use psychedelics very consciously as well. Where
Yeah,
where they have those experiences where they're just like, yeah, this is for fun, and then they eventually inevitably have a bad trip because they don't know what they're really dealing with here.
yeah.
It can go either way. So, what do you make of that experience from that perspective of
Like,
like
wait,
being
what?
like not approaching psychedelics with the mindset of like this is gonna help me heal and get to know parts of myself that I haven't seen uh, before, but to approach psychedelics as just as party drug essentially,
Yeah,
and not really knowing or having that kind of different context for all the experiences that you have on psychedelics. It's just kind of this fun times messing around goofy stuff. You saw
yeah.
you saw freaking
I mean,
Donald Duck uh
I
giving your
think
uncle a
this
high
is
five, and it was fun, and then
I
you get to the bad trip, and then what do you make of that? How do you deal with that if
Yeah,
you can?
I was just gonna say I think this is an effect of like the term drugs being used as this one label and all these things being lumped together that don't belong together in the same group. So people just think of psychedelics sometimes as party drugs and they get approached in that way, and they can be used in that way as well. But I think they're so powerful and deserve so much more respect.
Yeah.
what's the like legalities in Iceland regarding like weed and psychedelics? I'm assuming
Big
illegal.
no no.
Yeah,
Big no
big,
weed
big
too?
no no. Yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
think
unfortunately it's
if I'm
it's
not
legal over
mistaken,
here in Germany now. You can
Oh,
I've heard
okay.
that Iceland has the highest weed smokers per capita percentage. Uh, but we are like, a very small country, so it's easier to break that record.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people do it. The police don't particularly care so much from my experience. Like,
and
a lot
things
of
are
them are
moving in the
chill.
direction of legalization,
Yeah, I think, but the
eventually.
old guard is strong. They're gonna,
They're gonna
hold on to this until their
Yeah.
graves.
fight to the last man.
Yeah.
So
So it's a struggle, but
but
I
there's
think it
there's a
yeah, go
developing
ahead.
like psychedelic spiritual scene as well.
Yeah, and
That's
there's been
awesome.
like
Yeah.
conferences, huge conferences in the our main concert hall. Um,
Hmm.
a person who's been organizing these, and she gets all these big experts to come and give lectures about different research and all this, and that gives it a scientific validity that helps it to be digested by the mainstream culture. Because if it's just coming from the underground, it's just hippies and
Right. If it's just
people
Yeah.
just a bunch
do
of hippies going, "Oh my God, you know what I saw?" I
Yeah,
saw
it's
cloud. I saw.
it's easier to dismiss. But if it's, people in lab coats, then all of a sudden it's and she invited, the head of the police department or
Yeah.
she to come to the conferences, which I
Oh
think is
yeah,
pretty
Really?
funny.
I missed that.
Yeah.
that's wild. Is there a pretty like big like EDM scene?
Not so much.
Not
I
so.
mean,
Yeah.
I make EDM, but it's only people in America and India that listen to
Oh,
my
okay.
stuff.
Oh yeah, India as
All
well.
these
Big
scenes,
export.
we're so small that it's hard for like a subculture or a subgenre to really take rise. We don't have,
Okay.
but you have, the clubs and some dance music culture, but
Yeah. Yeah, I
psychedelic
asked about
wise,
the
it's not so huge.
legality because the whole thing with ibogaine just kind of recently happened here in the United States, where they're like opening up for like PTSD for like veterans and stuff like that. And this whole time it was happening, like ibogaine. Obviously, I haven't tried it. I've heard great things about it, but I've also heard about mushroom. I was wondering if you guys had like any like that therapeutic stuff, but it sounds like you guys didn't. So
I mean, I know there's people that are working on it, and it's
yeah,
happening. It's happening underground. The mushrooms, they, grow all over the place here at a certain
yeah,
time, and I go and I pick them. Um, I know
lucky.
people
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
I found a few spots where you can just,
Yeah, and
Dude, I just
grams
yeah,
upon
no.
grams.
Real quick on a side note, I'm from Arizona. I'm in a desert. They don't grow here.
Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
people around the United States, like would send me like, "Hey, dude, check out my backyard." It's like that's nuts. Like, but
uh, it's
Yeah.
um,
there's too many people who know about the spots now in my hometown. It's
It
usually
is
all
oh yeah,
fake when you get
it's
there.
very
So
prevalent, and so many people are
uh,
doing it. And I think, like, aside from the legal part of the conversation, it's socially become so much more normalized, and you'll hear
yeah,
just people talking about it in the hot tubs. Older people, a lot of older people are doing it.
yeah,
So it's
incredibly.
definitely
So
not nearly as taboo as it used to be. But
it was
um,
so taboo, dude, and it partially like
yeah.
it's so God, it's so bad. Like it goes so hard how taboo this shit is. It's like
Oh yeah, I
can be
mean, you would
really
hear the things growing up about like, oh yeah, he took acid and now he thinks he's like a glass of orange juice and he like walks like a
yes.
chicken
what
and
is it with
like
the glass of orange juice? It's always the same story.
yeah, and then it's just yeah, crazy stuff. But um I know real quick, this popped in my head earlier while we were talking and I was trying to remember the thought and I wanted to get it out. We were talking about like the scary experiences. This didn't happen to me, but this one always like stuck in my mind of like what the hell did this guy see? Because I have an old friend. He went by the name dimethyltryptamine. He had a friend, and so I know of this guy's story through him. And this guy, I guess we'll call him Gary. This Gary guy, he was like a big deadhead and like huge psychedelics, like advocate for psychedelics and everything like that. And I guess he had smoked DMT one time, not one time. He had smoked DMT plenty of times, but one just time in particular was his final time he ever smoked it. And like, I guess from what Mike told me, he said that he like put an insane dose inside of a pipe to smoke, and he like took it all in one hit as much as he could. And he said he like broke through the breakthrough. Like he went into the DMT realm, but went like beyond it, like far out there to a point where there was nothing. Like he was in a room of white, like just nothingness. And he was like looking around. All of a sudden, these like giant gray aliens that were the size of like the Twin Towers, like skyscraper size, like zoomed in and like looked at him, and then just like he broke back out and then completely quit. He was done with psychedelics, became a Christian, like opened up a church and like like is dedicated like turning people to the Lord now.
Oh my God.
But yeah, isn't that nuts?
It's
That's
so
crazy. Some
crazy.
people would call that ego backlash.
Right? But yeah, it always made me wonder like and the same with like the communication I had on ayahuasca with my friend who had passed away, like some people would say, like, hear that and be like, "Yo, that's crazy," but it was real, dude. Like to me, it was so real, and it makes you wonder, like the underlying magic of like what the consciousness really is and what psychedelics helps do to it. Does it really plug you into this other place? Which I mean, that I believe it does. You know, it's like a telephone almost.
Mm.
Mm.
Like I don't know what you guys believe, like after you die, or like what lies beyond.
Yeah, we can
I'd
get
But
love to
into.
go there. I'm gonna go to the
Let's-
bathroom first, and then we'll go there.
Okay, so the nature of consciousness,
We're
the
gonna go
answer
there.
to life, the universe, and everything.
Yes.
What do we believe it is, in fact? Do we believe, in other words, this is one of our favorite topics on this show, actually.
Yeah.
Are the experiences that you have on psychedelics real, or are they hallucinations?
hallucination.
Okay. I wanna go there.
Yes, take the
Because I
stage.
think the boundary between real and hallucination is an imaginary boundary. And I
Yes.
think what's happening in everyday life is you're hallucinating. It's just a very consistent hallucination. So we kind of call that real, and then we trivialize stuff like dreams and stuff like this because it's just less consistent. Um, but I think it's all hallucination. And I think the definition of hallucination is an appearance without substance.
Mm.
Okay.
But okay, that you need to go into the definition of substance then, because
There's nothing underneath grounding it.
okay, but okay,
Yeah.
so we're but by hallucination in this context, you essentially mean just the nature of consciousness itself, like the nature of experience. Um,
It's imagination.
Hallucinating is having an experience, is what you're saying.
Yes, any kind of experience is an hallucination. And
Yeah.
since you mentioned what happens after death, like I'd love to go into that, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually love to connect that to your friend's story there, because I think before we incarnate into a human experience, I think consciousness is just completely one, it's completely whole, it's completely unified. Uh, the experiential quality when you go into that state is just like a white light, and there's no subject object, there's no me or you. It's all one. And then you could call that God, and God wants to experience itself through finite forms. So God incarnates into finite beings and interacts with itself. And I think what was happening in your friend's experience, and not to project my meaning completely onto what's happening there, but it's like what happens there is like you're going into the ego is gonna completely melt into everything, and what tends to happen for people then is the ego, as you described, he said he was in the state of complete white. So it's like there's still a subject object, there's still a him in there observing it. And
Yes.
sometimes the ego will project crazy visual content to maintain that sense of inside, outside. Oh, did the lights go out?
Oh,
And we're back.
Hey, I am so sorry about that.
no worries.
That's all good. We'll cut it
Yeah.
out.
All right.
Well, it will fix it in post. No worries.
But yeah, what I was saying is that sometimes the ego will create crazy visual content because a visionary state is like it's a dualistic state. You are perceiving something outside of yourself. There's a subject object. So that can sometimes be a tactic of the ego to maintain that sense of separation, to create something so extraordinary that, it captures your attention in that way. But that's just my speculation. That's I've heard stories like this before where people are afraid to let go and melt into everything, so their ego starts to project out
Yes.
so some crazy stuff. But I'm curious what you make of that.
So that would include the aliens there in the
Yeah.
friend's example there. You were saying, yeah, I see. Mhm.
So when I spoke to him on ayahuasca, what had happened was ayahuasca was guiding me through all these different places originally, like these just different, like I almost call them like palaces of geometric beauty, like these different. I would go inside these corridors of patterns and realms and information, and it was taking me through like all these different dimensions. And at one point, it took me to it said, I want you to experience it. This something, I'm bringing you somewhere, but you're going to experience it alone. And then there I sat in complete darkness until I saw like what was like a blue ball of energy. And it started speaking to me and it was like, hey, like, yo, it's me, Jesse. And I was astounded, oh my God. And I was like, bro, I miss you. I love you. Bro, what's going on? He's like, hey, it's gonna be okay. Just know, like, we are all gonna be whole together. Like, everything's gonna be okay. Just remember the good times. And then that ball like exploded, and I like lived through every memory that I had with him, all over again. I got to experience it all over again, and it changed like my perspective on like being sad and missing him. I was actually wearing his jacket. I purposely took it to that ayahuasca ceremony. It was given to me by his mother on his first year of death anniversary. I'm a Tonaotum Native American. My tribe is Tonaotum. We celebrate the first year anniversary each year, and that's where she gave me his jacket. I was actually wearing it that night, and I've always like thought about that, like, when it comes to death and like, oh, he said like we're all going to be together, we're all going to be whole again. Like, I didn't take that as in, oh, hey, we're going to live in heaven and play Super Smash Brothers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not like that, but like the keyword was like, we're going to be whole again, which is that we're all pieces to a puzzle, we're all one. And that's what that means, is that when we return to where we go, that it's all into one center. I don't know, like, if it's a different realm or if there's like, time, like, I don't know, like a lot big piece of me believes that, like, when you think of reincarnation or like if you think of heaven and hell, like, I believe in a sort of peace that like we are in hell, that right now, that what we're living in is hell. We have to work our asses off. We have to be starved sometimes. We have to get our hearts broken. We have to watch our fathers die, our friends die. We have to be depressed. We have to find the good thing. Like, this world, everything is kind of out against you to make you want to like be like a hateful person or be a bitter person. But it's like how you deal with living in this world of hell that really determines like if you're going to spend your next life in hell, which is coming right back here because you didn't learn, like ayahuasca tried to teach me, like, turn the negative into positive, like through all the bullshit that is inevitably going to come into your life. Like, who are you from it? Like, what good do you do? Do you get what I'm kind of saying here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I'm very, but in the example of that experience of seeing your friend there, who'd passed away, um, do you see that as something that actually happened, as him truly having come back from the dead? Or do you see that as a projection of your ego to
I
teach
don't know.
yourself something you need to know? You need
So
to
the
learn.
thing, I a piece of me for the longest time wanted to believe like it was this consciousness actually reaching out to me that existed somewhere else that I was plugging into. But another piece of me, I mean, I don't know, like, because when you think of the reality of it, it's like, oh, is your mind just sitting there waiting for somebody to do ayahuasca? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
I think as the years have gone on, that it's it was probably what I was telling myself, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
this is the reality of it, but it's being told to me through him.
mm,
But like when I think back to it, like, I know it was his voice. It was the craziest thing. Like,
Mm,
it was
mhm.
undeniable.
yeah.
I've had similar things happen, actually.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, where my grandmother had died, and I was doing mushrooms in the forest, and I just felt her so strongly. But I don't necessarily think that it's like her spirit somehow floating out there and coming into the experience. I think like what she is also just like what she means to me. Um, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I don't think
Which is like
people are separate
technically,
from you. I think they are a part of you. So like even if it is yourself, it's still him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. But Hmm. Yeah, is that so that that's not necessarily the person though? Because okay, I'll tell you about a different context which I've been contemplating a lot, which is romantic love and relationships and how to make them work. And one thing I've noticed, which has been like a fairly recent realization. I got over this hurdle a couple years ago, but it wasn't yesterday. But I realized we often fall in love with our idea of a person and not the actual person themselves.
Hmm.
So, in that context, I find it very useful to think of my conception of a person as something totally separate from the person themselves, and try to leave that imaginary ideal behind and replace it with an actual person in
That's
your
a great
partner.
point, actually.
Um,
Yeah.
so just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying about are we the same as other people or are we not? I guess that's a totally different conversation though, if as
Yeah.
Yeah.
for all of consciousness includes everybody, that's for sure. But yeah.
So, like, while we're on the topic, do you believe in any, like, could you believe this to be a paranormal type of experience that I had? If you believe in, like, do you believe in any paranormal activity such as that, or
Uh,
that there could be paranormal activity?
What would be the
okay.
definition actually of paranormal? Um,
Supernatural kind of.
Supernatural, yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, like yeah, I mean, okay, so that's where I tend to shift the conversation in the direction of that's not an important question to me. I don't really care if it's true or not. I care if
Okay,
it's useful or not.
I
And
like that.
I think you can have a lot of useful experiences on psychedelics, and whether or not they're actually, ontologically or epistemologically, I know I always get those two confused. I was trying to sound smart, totally tripped
It
myself up.
backfired.
Yeah,
I
well,
think it's
um,
ontologically.
ontologically, whether or not stuff is actually ontologically real,
Yeah.
is less important, at least. I'm not saying it's not a totally unimportant question, not at all. It's a very interesting one as well. But yeah, I realized a long time ago, after being raised as an atheist, in a, kind of modern or post-modernistic Icelandic society, you could say.
Mhm.
Um, I was very much raised to prioritize intellectual integrity or intellectual honesty with oneself above all else. If it's not true, then you're kidding yourself. If you don't have any evidence for the stuff you believe in, mostly the center point of that discussion obviously being religion. Like, okay, you believe in big sky daddy with the white beard. Okay, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You think you're taking something without evidence, which is the rational stage. And then I'm just kind of trying to move on to the post-rational stage now. And I think a part of that is realizing that intellectual honesty isn't actually the most important thing in this experience. The most important thing is having a good experience, um, and making sure that, as many consciousnesses, if we choose to term them as separate for the purpose of this example, um, have a good experience.
Mhm.
Like that's just I can't see how anybody would reach a different conclusion than that, at least personally. Like, and I have a lot of people, I know a lot of people disagree with me on this actually. But
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, that's why I said, fuck intellectual honesty. If I can have an experience that actually helps me live a more meaningful and happy life, then and help others do the same, then I'm going for it.
If you were to tie up the mother of all psychedelic experiences that was the most useful for you, which would you say that is?
Like what substance or the specific
The
experience?
specific experience, like, was there one experience that was the mother of all?
Oh
I have
man.
one, but you
Yeah.
can go first, Tim, if you
No, no, I don't.
want.
I mean, I have stories, but I'm more interested to hear yours right now.
Um, yeah, it was. I had been doing acid for maybe like it was maybe day two.
Hmm.
I hadn't slept, and I took some more acid, and then I was standing in my garage, smoking weed from a pipe, And
Hmm.
as soon as I took the hit from the weed, and I was standing apart from my a lawnmower, and and just instantly as I took the hit, it just occurred to me that the lawnmower was me, and it occurred to me that the lawnmower was God, and it was just the most obvious, simple thing. It was like it's so obvious that it's too
Yeah.
obvious. It's like, and it just
Yeah.
everything just came undone, and it was just a complete unity. And that's the first time where the word God makes made sense to me.
Oh wow.
Um,
That's such a
Yeah.
it's such an anticlimactic way to end the story.
I mean, it's very simple, but it was like, but it was just pure love, pure ecstasy, like complete unity, and it felt just like there we go. It's just
It's the
that's it.
psychedelics really are the ultimate. Like you had to be there, man. It was,
Yeah. Oh,
it
yeah.
was sick. It was.
Yeah.
I was God, and the lawnmower was God, and we were just vibing.
That was on what substance? You said acid?
Yes, I think it
Yeah.
was must have been something like five tabs of acid.
Okay. That'll do it.
Wait, I
Yeah.
disconnected my headphones. There we go. I'm back.
Yeah, no, mine was definitely so I always kind of go between the two because DMT was definitely like holy hell. But I say the most like profound, like understanding thought I had was definitely the first time I took mushrooms. Um, so going off what you're saying about being an atheist and everything, I was kind of the same way. So I was raised Roman Catholic when I was a child. I went to church pretty much every Sunday. Like I went to Catholic school and like had like a like a first Holy Communion and all that stuff. And so, but I remember being a child, like I told myself I believed it, but I didn't. So it wasn't until like maybe when I got like 12, 13, I just kind of like with everything going on in my life, like I like became like a devout atheist. I was like, we're here for some weird mistake. Like like really intelligent germs on a rock. And um yeah, and I was like
Did
really
you watch
proud.
Christopher Hitchens and Sam Harris and these
Oh,
atheists?
I
Richard
don't know who that is.
Dawkins, he's the four-headed
Um,
atheist.
oh
Yeah,
no,
I went
I
there
don't
as
know who
well.
that is. But I was like a real proud atheist. Like I was like, wearing shirts that said like God free and shit like that. And like I lived that like that until that night I took mushrooms. I had eaten mushrooms and then I went to this baseball field behind like I lived in these apartments and I went to this baseball field and I just laid out in like the outfield in the grass and was just looking at the sky. And like you said, like this is what like really triggered for my thought when you were talking about it was like it just became so apparently obvious.
Yeah.
Like how small I am. Like I'm laying in the grass, like everything. Like it's not like oh a coincidence. Oh, it's a miracle. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
there's and I just began to like understand like because I really tried at a point to believe in God, and I just saw the hypocrisy in religion, and it was like I like began to understand like if there is a God and a devil, like this hypocrisy, like that's the devil trying to pull you away from God. Like maybe the religion doesn't have it all understood, but like as long as you know is the existence of there's something much greater out there than myself. Like there is something much greater out there than myself. I don't think us as humans are supposed to understand or even get it. That's why I don't believe in the Bible. Like I don't believe like any of us have the capacity to understand what God or what an afterlife or the realm of God truly is. And I just don't think we're supposed to. I think we're supposed to have faith in each other as God, have faith in God as in being have faith in each other and make it work together. And it's how you turn that wheel is really working the word of God as Christians would say, I guess. But now, that was my most profound because it was after that I was like, oh my, like I just felt so much more connected to something that's much higher than myself. And
Yeah.
before I was just kind of like, I'm the shit, or you know what I mean? Like,
But
yeah,
because you expanded your consciousness enough, and I think you're right that we can't really understand God, or really know God as humans because our minds are so small. But if we
Yeah,
expand our minds with psychedelics, I think we
yeah.
can touch God. And just to finish with my story, what was like profound about it was not, I've had a bunch of experiences with crazy visuals and crazy content happening, but there was nothing visual happening. It was just purely on the level of knowing and understanding. And that was the
Mm,
most profound part about it. It was not spinning wheels and tunnels, and that's all fun stuff. I've done that and
yeah.
it's great, but it was like the knowing and the
Yeah,
that sense of connection,
it's
which
a
is
feeling, like a
yeah,
certainty that you get.
yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, hard to.
But I'm curious about yours, Tim. Your most profound.
Wait, sorry. Can we rewind one conversation topic? I was going to piggyback on something we were
Yeah,
talking
let's
about.
go.
What was No, can you actually remind me what was going
We're talking about God, the Bible.
on? Right. This is important. Was really important to me for me to get to this. I was like, what the heck? Because I remember we were talking about, but I was like, oh, I can't find the connection. Because I wanted to get to the losing my atheism as well, because that's what you were talking about with the trip that you were describing. Because it didn't take a psychedelic experience for me. For me, it was more watching guys like Sam Harris. Um, Deconstruct, like he was on the forefront of the atheist wave back then, when
The
everybody was
new
going, okay,
atheists,
the new atheists,
the
yeah,
edgy Reddit,
like
fedora wearing atheists.
yeah, those guys. And so he was doing that, right? He was having all these debates with Christian Catholic priests, and just destroying them at every turn, and I loved it. Like I got such a
Oh yeah,
kick out of watching that as a
same here.
14-year-old. I was just like,
Same
yes,
here.
get,
We were
you
doing
get
that
him,
at
you,
exact the same age.
yeah,
It's tribalism. It's like watching your football team beat the other team. You're like,
Mm,
yes.
you show those Christians. That's so I loved that. He was a big intellectual role model of mine back when, intellectual honesty was still my highest value. And then he he transitioned to a little bit of a career in mindset training and meditation, etc. And he started doing talks on that stuff. And that's when I went, wait a second. This guy who was just destroying religion at every turn is now talking about meditation. Um, so that pricked my ears because he's somebody that I respect intellectually. So for
Hmm.
me, I needed that little bridge over to the
Yeah,
spiritual realm, just some intellectual role model to
that's
convert, and
that's
then
so
be like,
funny.
okay, you
What's so funny is
no.
I had the exact. We've never spoken about this. I had the exact same conversion
Really?
because if there was a crystal wearing person, because I was an atheist, I wasn't open to that stuff. It was like, total hippie with sage came up to me and told me all this
Yeah.
stuff. I would have been like, nah, come on, you're full of shit. I needed like somebody who was rational. And that was the bridge. And then I moved into Terence McKenna, which I think takes it even further. But yeah, it was Sam Harris for me also back in the day. It's
Sam
just very funny.
Harris, OG, incredible, incredible.
That's so funny.
I
Yeah.
love Terrence. Terrence is my idol, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have a book signed by him. I'm actually is my proudest possession.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, we
which
were.
book is it?
Food of the Gods, first edition. Food of
Uh,
the Gods. It's
haven't read
signed.
it.
He wrote RX like a prescription, and he
Hmm.
wrote 5 dried grams in silent darkness. Good luck, Terrence
That,
McKenna.
that's so cool. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
dude.
The only one I've read or I've listened to from him was the what was it with the experiments in La Chorrera when he went to the Amazon.
Okay.
You know the name of the
Yeah.
book? What
Oh
was it?
yeah, 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 yeah.
True
I think it's
Hallucinations.
yeah, it's True Hallucinations.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
went and I saw Dennis McKenna. I met him. He held a lecture actually close to where I am now
that's awesome, dude.
in the university. And I asked him in the Q&A if he could recreate the sounds from the experiments in La Chorrera.
Did he?
He said, I could do it, but I'm not going to do it because it would upset the space-time continuum.
Have he has a book actually. It's a very great book. It's called The Brotherhood of the Screaming Abyss. Have you
Mhm.
have you read it?
I've not read it, but I
No.
know it's about him and Terence and
Oh
their
yeah,
relationship.
it's a really good book, man. Sad at the end, but it's really good.
Yeah.
I had a signed copy, but it had since gotten. It was in a backpack that got lost.
Uh,
But yeah, I would have had both McKenna brothers' signatures, but I probably wouldn't be too
Uh,
hard to get a hold of
yeah.
it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrence, one of his theories that always stuck out to me the most was the stoned ape theory.
yeah.
If you guys are familiar with that,
We've spoken about it on the podcast.
I that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite theories of all time, man. It's just so plausible, and I want it to be true so bad, dude.
Me too.
Yeah, rest in peace to Terrence, man. He was a
Yeah.
man far before his time.
100%. I'm
Yeah.
a big
Interesting.
fan. And he was the first person who showed me uh, what's possible just beyond rationality and logic. Because he's a smart guy. He's not, your typical new age hippie person.
Yeah.
You can tell he's intelligent,
Hmm.
and that really, helped me to really see what's beyond just science and materialism. And it's a huge gateway
Absolutely.
for me.
Oh yeah, so that was
Absolutely.
your conversion similar to mine.
Yeah, but I went from Sam Harris and then I migrated over to Terence
Right.
McKenna.
I didn't get on the Terence McKenna train.
Uh,
I haven't
Hmm.
oh well,
I haven't
we can
listened to
still
him much.
convert you to, which I think it's so funny because he spoke a lot against, people worshiping gurus. There's a famous quote from
Yeah.
him like follow plants, not gurus.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then a lot of people have turned him into their guru as well, which I think is very ironic.
It is true, man.
Yeah. Um,
Um, but yeah, Dennis, Terrence are they're great. Um, I had a thought. I did totally lost it
I
right
was
before I
like,
was.
I could jump in with the psychedelic
yes.
experience. I don't know.
You go
Um,
for it. Go for it.
Oh yeah,
I think yeah, hard. I've
The
had a
most
few.
profound one.
I don't know. I can't pick one, dude. That's tough. It's
yeah.
I'd say okay. One of my favorites was taking. It wasn't very visual. It was mostly emotional. It was on mushrooms. I took, I think, I took a light dose, even just 1 or 2 grams of dried
That can be
mushrooms.
profound, actually.
I
It's
think,
not always about the highest dose.
yeah, and it was in this ceremonial space in Guatemala, in a little town called San Marcos by the Lake Atitlan, which is a beautiful place. Super
So beautiful.
duper recommend
Everybody
that.
should look at pictures of that. It's like it's
It's
unreal. It
it's
looks
like
Where is
like
it again?
in Guatemala. Um,
Okay,
it's yeah, it's like this little hippie town essentially. Go there,
nice.
pick up some good habits.
got the
Um,
lake and got the mountain, got the forest. It's gorgeous. I've never been
it's
there, but I've seen so many pictures and I refuse to believe it's real.
it's incredible. Yeah, and it looks
Yeah.
even better when you're there. I
Yeah.
remember just the first time I saw the lake going out in the boat and the sun was setting and it was reflecting on the water and I was seeing like the
Oh man.
volcanoes overgrown with jungle. It's
Yeah.
just incredible. Uh, I was warned as soon as we stepped on that boat, like you're never gonna want to leave. This is amazing, and it was true. It was tears when I did. Um, and anyway, I was taking, I was in this ceremony, mushroom ceremony, where everybody was offered between 1 and 2 grams of dried mushrooms, and we drank it in cacao, and we had a little ceremony, kind of intention setting circle first, and we took some hape as well before going in, and then I was into the ceremony, and my favorite part of it was the afterglow where everybody was kind of landing together and we weren't quite back to normality, but you could feel just this profound connection between everybody in the room. Like you could look anybody in the eye and feel like we were one somehow, even though like
Yeah.
the visual distortions weren't there anymore, none of that stuff, but just the feeling of togetherness and oneness was still so present. And I took the guitar in that moment and I played. I was like, shit, I'm not sure I remember all the verses actually. There's like 6 or 7, I think, in American Pie by Don McLean.
Hmm.
And I was like, I memorized them at some point. I'm sure they're in there somewhere. And I was just in such complete trust in that moment that I was just like, fuck it. I'll go for it. So
Hmm.
I got up on a chair and everybody is sitting around me, looking at me perform, like 10, 15 people. in the ceremony, and it was the most profound musical performance of my life because the connection, like I didn't remember any of the lyrics before the microsecond that I needed them. It's just like they
Yeah.
just got downloaded as soon as they were needed. And I was looking, I was looking everybody in the eye in the audience, delivering the lyrics and just feeling the meaning and the emotion behind the bars that are being dropped in this song. Such powerful lyrics. And yeah, well, yeah, that's what's one of them anyway. That's
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a great one.
yeah.
Um,
I enjoy that kind of not necessarily visual, but only like
yeah,
the emotional part of it. I feel
but
like
this
that
seems to
doesn't
be
perhaps get talked about as much as all the fireworks,
and
you
this is
know.
what we were actually all touching on now with the most profound experiences. It's about the sense of connection and the feeling, and not necessarily the fireworks. That is the most
Yeah.
profound part of
Uh,
psychedelics. Um, but I wanna steer us in a different direction. Let me see if I can find one thing. 1 second. We're gonna grab.
how are you doing with time, by the way, Icarus?
Oh, I'm chilling.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. We could go for a bit longer then.
Okay.
It's like 9:30 p.m. here now, so
Oh, okay.
but I mean, I'm not in any kind of Christian routine at the moment.
For sure. What like how like what's the weather like over there?
It's quite all right, man. So
Yeah.
it's like it's the as far south as south goes in Germany, almost like it's almost in Switzerland or France,
Okay.
right on the border. It's a
Nice.
little city called Mannheim with like 300,000 people, and
Nice.
it gets ridiculously hot in here in the summer. Actually, it goes up to like
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's unlivable. I just realized
Is
you're
it?
probably thinking Fahrenheit, so I can't.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. Does it
I
get
couldn't find it.
is it like dry heat or humidity?
Humidity, like
Ah, it
so,
sucks. I
it's
hate that.
so, yeah, yeah, it's absolutely, it's like a sauna. It's like a sauna up in here. I bet it's like on par with Arizona, probably, at least for a couple months in the summer, maybe not as long. Um,
hmm
yeah, it's, anyway, we're just chatting. What's
Yeah,
up?
no, I was gonna find since I've been moving, I can't find all my stuff, but I wanted to talk about Shpongle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. We can talk
Let's
about
go. Let's
Shpongle
go.
all day.
Are you a fan?
Am I a fan of Shpongle?
Yeah.
I named my son Simon.
Hey.
Yeah.
All
I named
right.
my
There
son
we
Simon
go.
after Shpongle.
Yeah.
Aho.
So
Yeah,
I have a 3-year-old. He's going to be 4 in September. Spangle is my favorite group of all time. I know I'm a
same here.
hardcore kid at heart, but of all time, it's Spangle, dude. They have accompanied me through the deepest, like most profound moments of my life. They've given me such a like higher appreciation of music
Yeah.
that I thought I would never have. And I just think that what Raja and Simon do, like what they've given to the world, is such a precious gift. I love that group so much, dude. I've seen them multiple times. I love them to death.
Yeah. We actually had Dan Curley on 3 times now who worked with Simon from Spangle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was doing a collaboration album and he got Simon on from the
That's
Spangle
awesome,
group.
dude.
And yeah, they're also my favorite group. I've borrow a lot of influences from them and Osric Tentacles. I don't know if you know Osric Tentacles.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah. So just wanted to connect
Yeah,
on the
Yeah. You can I'll
appreciation
let
for
you guys
Spunk.
have your moment. I unfortunately got introduced to Shpongle only when we did an episode on one of their
okay.
albums. Uh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, so I saw the Shpongle live band at the Red Rocks in
Oh yeah.
Colorado, and that was, man, that was incredible. And uh, the Red Rocks is such a beautiful venue in of itself. But I went there alone, which was pretty cool. Um, a fan of mine, so the tickets sold out quick, and like I had watched for years, like the live band performances. and I wanted like it wasn't gonna happen. And then randomly someone was like, "Hey, dude, like I'm not gonna be able to make it. Like I had something come up on the date. I have a ticket. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Dude, how much?" He was like, "You introduced me to Shpongle. Like it's only fair that you just have it." So I went and yeah, man, it was awesome, man. That's all I can say is I love that group, dude.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to ask which album is your favorite from them?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
But you know what? Tales of the Inexpressible
Mine
is
too.
from hell
Yes.
yeah, dude.
Yes. It's
Tales of the
so fucking good.
Inexpressible is just so
It's
good,
so
bro.
good. Yeah.
My head feels like a frisbee, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. Um,
The
Ineffable
sto
Mysteries comes to a very, very close second, though,
That's
for sure.
also same for me. Same for me.
Yeah, yeah,
But they all like they offer different. They all have their own character. You know, Are You Spangle? It's kind of the most deeply psychedelic,
yeah,
and you know, it doesn't have as much humor and character play, and
yeah.
you know,
Very alien.
it's very alien. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and also
And then
like underwater, it also you know it
yeah,
gives me
the Ineffable Mysteries has that kind of like Indian, like
influence. Yeah,
Middle Eastern vibe to it. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, yeah, man, their music's incredible. Yeah, when I had my little one and I found out he was a boy, that was the first name I thought of. His
yeah.
name's Simon Cash, so Simon after Simon Spangle, Cash after Johnny Cash, and then my last
Ah,
name. Yeah, Simon Cash from
you're a
Rome.
Johnny Cash fan as well.
Oh yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. My grandfather got me into Johnny Cash when I was young, God rest his soul. But yeah, I love Johnny Cash. He's one of my favorite folk singers.
Hmm.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, well, just I guess I need to have a trip to a Spangle album someday to just get to appreciate them as deeply as you guys do. I'm really feeling the energy right now.
Yeah, it's like
Oh my dude, yeah,
when you know, you
it'll
know.
get you getting funky, man. Spangle gets you moving, dude. It's the greatest.
Yeah. Now I was gonna say, do you know the story behind my head feels like a frisbee?
Um, remind me. I'm pretty sure I do, but remind me.
I think it's Raja. He was smoking some really strong weed, and it was like the bottom of the bag, so it was just like, you know,
Pure
the
Uh-huh.
crystals.
yeah.
Uh,
And he said it was too strong, and his head was feeling like a frisbee, and he had to hold on to the wall. So Simon, being Simon, just starts to record him. My head feels like a frisbee.
I love it. I was reading a few years back a um, Ask Me Anything from Simon on Reddit, and I forgot what the question was. Or no, oh, the question was about the first time he had smoked DMT,
Yeah.
and so he said that he and Raja, or I don't know if it was him and Raja or if it was just Raja, both of them, one of them, but they had gotten DMT from Terence, and
Yeah.
they smoked this DMT, and Simon had like broke through and went to this place where there was all these like beings, like these elves. Then they started playing this flute music to him,
Mhm.
and he was like trying to like retain it and be like, "This is what I need," and like this is like what I
It
need.
was Behind Closed Eyelids, I think was the song.
Yes. Yep, you're right.
Mm,
And then he said that like he
I
would just
remember.
put Raja in the booth and have him start playing, just and like he would record it, and all of a sudden he started fucking playing that part. He recognized it. He's like, that's what was being played in the DMT realm. And then now
Okay.
he put that on the song Behind Closed Eyelids.
Mm.
It's funny because I heard a different version of the story, but you know, who knows?
Maybe
I heard that
maybe I
they
have it wrong.
yeah, I heard that they had recorded a bunch of samples
Hmm.
and that in the state these beings were playing this flute part that they had already recorded and they had to go back and search through and find that one. But I don't know if
Hey,
it's true.
we're along the lines the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's awesome.
But every time I hear that song now, that particular flute parts, I think it's probably the quick like tuk 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 like
Yeah,
yeah,
I know
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
talking about.
Every time I hear that, it gives it a different because when you know the backstory, it just adds a layer of
You know what? I think I was listening to this preparing for our episode when I was in Goodyear in Phoenix
Oh,
last
no
year.
shit.
Actually, it's yeah, funny.
It's
Think
all
back.
coming full
I was like,
circle.
yeah, because actually, I remember this one song. You hit upon one song that I actually remember by Shpongle, and it
Hmm.
just brought back the memory of the dorm back in Phoenix.
I would
Wow.
say my
Nice.
favorite song by them is No Turn Unstoned.
Mm.
That's on the Ineffable Mysteries album. Because the first bad trip I ever had, which was absolutely utterly terrifying.
I remember your
Um,
story.
yeah, dude, it was crazy. Um, I remember like it was like you said, like hours and hours of hell. And the only thing that pulled me out of it was I put in music, like I just need to like try to focus on music maybe. And I was shifting through and it was crazy because every song I would put on would just sound evil. Like I
Just
don't know
like
how to
Bob
explain like
Marley
a
on your.
warp record, like you know the Bob Marley like do 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 do
Yeah, I
do
was just gonna say
do
that.
like
Yeah.
yeah, but I put on
Thriller.
yeah.
Bird.
Um,
My daughter.
but No Turn Unstone came on and it kind of starts out with just like wow wow and I don't know, it just like pulled me in and the lyrics like spoke to me and it just bro it like literally like I felt like I got pulled out of hell by the hand of God and it like just set me straight and then I went had probably like 2 more hours of that full experience but man, like after that, like not only was like a new profound like respect for the psychedelic born, but I was like for Shpongle, I was like, oh,
Mm,
thank you, you
Yeah.
saved my
to
motherfucking life,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, pulled you out of that.
Yeah,
The lyrics, they
Jeez.
almost seem like they're kind of designed to pull you out of a bad state because they
yeah,
go like,
like a
oh,
madman
yeah,
gripping in that dark room. Seek the light to burn away the gloom. Yeah, that's great, man.
I lost my mind, but my feelings are true. Everything I do, I offer to you. Now I've found you.
Yeah.
So on.
Yeah.
So,
It's been years since I've seen. I think the last time I did see them though was I think I was the Red Rocks trip. I actually I got lost after that, which was really weird. I ended up like in the parking lot of the Red Rocks, and like I hadn't my phone had no service, or my phone was dead, and I like couldn't call a Lyft. It's this whole story. It was terrifying. Then I thought I was gonna get robbed, but ultimately I didn't.
wait, the Red Rocks, was that the one where they have? I was actually before I was just looking for. I got this Spangle picture book with like all sorts of pictures from their shows and
Uh-huh.
such. Was the Red Rocks the one where they had this giant inflated Spangle balloon?
Yeah, well, there's a giant
Yeah.
inflated like Astro Shpongle guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they like flew in the crowd or like bounced around or yeah, yeah, that was that one.
Yeah. Man, yeah, it's it's a little different living in Iceland. You don't get a lot of opportunities to see
Sucks.
people coming here, but uh,
I mean, if I'm being fair to play the like every cloud has a silver lining, nowadays they make you want to chop like make you basically chop off your left nut to go to one of these festivals, dude. They're so expensive now, bro.
Yeah.
Like they are just murdering you and like that's why I started going back to hardcore shows. Like underground hardcore shows are $30. I'd rather do that than spend $450 on the damn festival ticket, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I was supposed to go to Coachella last year, but that didn't happen. I got into some trouble with the law. So
hey,
Hey.
yeah.
To Coachella, is that a festival?
That's like the biggest festival in pretty much America. It's like Justin Bieber headlined it last year and
Oh,
like yeah,
right.
it's like
Okay.
it's like all weekend. But like honestly, like my friend got tickets and like kind of like as a group was like, hey, like you guys are gonna come and we're like stoked. But I was like, man, there's so many people. And then you know how America is. Like I'm real. You guys, thank God, you guys probably don't have to worry about this shit over there. But like big
yeah,
crowds in America, man, that shit
Yeah.
scares me, bro.
Yeah.
yeah.
I stayed away. I stayed
I mean,
away.
we
Yeah.
actually had an incident recently where a concert hall was too packed and people were getting into trouble.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
it's it happens everywhere, but it's true about the ticket prices. It's like it does push me away from going to shows a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Never mind
Pay
about the
your
gun
rent.
violence.
Yeah.
The ticket prices are murder, guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, we
Anyway.
don't have the gun violence, so that's a big plus about Iceland.
Yeah, and just what's crazy about America, I mean, the US, as a like an Icelandic small town boy, my impression coming over to Phoenix last year and then flying over to San Francisco as well to meet my business
Nice.
partner over there. It was like everything is so big. Like
Yeah.
everything. No, I'm not doing the typical like, oh, the portions of the food are so big. Uh, but I mean, I mean the buildings, dude. It's like you should have seen my face walking around the
Yeah.
streets in San Francisco, just like I can't believe. Like, imagine all the trash that needs to be taken out just from one of these buildings. Like, God damn.
Was that your first time in America?
In the U.S., yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't the first time I had that feeling was in Mexico City, probably when I
Okay.
went over there. And it's like equally monstrous. You're just like, oh my God, this thing's big. Like what? And you just feel like an ant. One intersection by foot is like 15 minutes. It's just like,
I gotta ask, what'd you think of the Mexican food?
oh yeah, I kind of messed up. I didn't try a lot of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
No, you're
sorry.
good.
Yeah, I
I
know.
just wanted German or if foreigner's opinion on how Mexican food is.
Right. I mean I love it. I haven't I mean I suppose um I mean back in Iceland or over here in Germany we probably only have poor imitations of the actual thing, but man, I
Mm.
really yeah, I really love even the poor imitation of it. Uh, but
Yeah.
well I did try some real Mexican street food in Mexico City though back then.
Nice. There you
Of
go.
course. Was that the
Hell yeah.
question? Sorry, I thought you were asking about
Yeah. Yeah.
California.
Yeah. Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, well, I messed up in California, didn't try the Mexican food, but I did try the street tortillas in
Nice.
Mexico City. That was the shit, dude.
Yeah.
They were so good. And they're so, I mean, yeah, it's just so simple. And they, like, Jesus, I mean, it's very spicy as well. I gotta say.
Oh yeah. No,
That's the
I'm all
cliche,
about that.
obviously,
I'm
but
all about that also, you know.
I
Yeah,
mean,
dude. The hotter, the better,
Yeah,
oh
bro.
man,
God, I don't
I'm
know.
there. I'm
I
there.
don't know. I
However,
definitely,
I did get recently. I got a hot sauce that like is too hot. Recently on Amazon because I was like, I kept getting these hot sauces from the store, and I was like, these aren't hot enough. So I went. I got a Carolina Reaper hot sauce off Amazon, and yeah, dude, I can't eat it. Like it just sits in my pantry now.
I remember putting Carolina Reapers on pizzas.
Oh yeah, see, that's what I do, dude. There's this good stuff they have is like really hot honey, and you throw that on pizza. Ooh.
Right, yeah. It's really good.
yeah.
That's really
Speaking of
good.
pizza, I have a pizza tattoo. There you can see it.
Oh,
Nice. Damn.
Yeah, it says true love.
Let's
yes.
go.
Our Lord and Savior.
It's a love-hate relationship for me.
Yeah?
I've
Oh yeah.
divorced pizza a few times because I have digestive problems. Like it messes me up. It gives me like a lot of pain. But I keep coming
Mhm.
back to it. You know, it's like a toxic partner that you can't give up. You know,
Uh, it's a
she keeps
complicated.
hurting me, but I'm
Yeah,
addicted.
You're
the
on a
one thing I despise in life is avocado. I can't stand that shit.
really,
I
dude.
hate avocado, dude.
Oh my God.
Dude,
They're
that's what
the
everybody says too. They're like,
so good.
yo, like guacamole. Like, nah, dude, it's not
I
happening.
get it though. I mean, it is. Yeah,
I don't.
I get both sides. I'm an avocado centrist.
Oh God, avocado though. You put them in a smoothie, it's like putting cream in the smoothie. It's like
Yeah,
just gives that consistency.
it's
I
good.
could eat it with a spoon as well, just avocado spoon with
So,
salt.
you to kind of shift the subject, I wanted to ask because this popped in my head, and I meant to ask. You said like there, like you don't have much gun violence in Iceland. Like, what would you say is like your big problem out there? Out of
None.
curiosity.
Huh? What is
We
that?
don't have we don't have a lot of problems.
Like, is there like
Yeah.
so? Is it like pretty just like chill?
pretty
Yep.
much. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's lit, man. That's lit.
Yeah, my girlfriend is American. She lives in Tacoma, Washington State, and
Okay.
been wanting to move here for a while. Uh, largely because it is so much more peaceful here.
No, I
So,
bet. That's awesome.
Yeah,
stable existence for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
very
nice.
much. But it's a trade-off. It's sometimes it's not the most exciting.
That's for
Sometimes there's not.
damn sure.
Yeah, sometimes there's not a lot happening. But if you
Yeah.
like quiet and chill, it's good. But yeah.
Yeah, they only know the time I've been out of the country is Mexico, but it's because I live like 20 minutes away from it when I lived on on my nation, my reservation.
Hmm.
I live like 20 minutes from it, so we could travel into it freely. Like most places in the United States, well, you can't. Like you have to go through the border.
Yeah.
But because our tribal land goes into Mexico, we could just cross freely into it. So I used
Nice.
to ride my dirt bike into Mexico and shit. Like when I was a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, we buy fireworks and all kinds of shit.
Hell yeah.
Which
Yeah.
reminds me of
You,
that story when you
it
were
sounds like a lupo.
tripping.
You just smuggle stuff from Mexico right
Oh
through
yeah,
there.
dude. I
Just
mean,
really-
that's what if you want to talk about problems, that's our problem. There's a lot of like human smuggling, as in like trying to get illegal Mexicans across to their destination that they want to be in America. That can that's one of the things. And then there's a lot of drug running through our because of that specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Darn.
um, what were you gonna
No,
ask?
I was gonna. It just reminded me of one of your stories. I listened to this a while back. I don't remember it well, but you were shooting up fireworks in the night while tripping, and you got guns pulled on you.
Yeah, dude.
Wait,
I
what?
actually just told that story to someone the other day. I'll touch on it briefly if you guys are cool with it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes,
All
please.
right, so I was with my friend. I mentioned him before. His name is dimethyltryptamine, and we were at his house, and we had dropped like 3 hits of acid, like just 3 to the head, and we were like chilling and like listening to Shpongle, doing light shows, and we're probably like acid just kicked in. We're like an hour in, having the time of our life, and all of a sudden, like it's the lights are off in his apartment, other than like some LEDs and stuff, and we see like this bright light kind of like go by the window, and we're like, "What the fuck?" And like you could hear like a real faint like, so we like, look out the window, and it's like this big ass drone. And this is like kind of like right when drones started becoming a thing. They weren't like not everybody had them, or you didn't see
Mhm.
them everywhere. So we're like, "Yo," and he's like, "Yo, that's my neighbor. He's like this like big like technological nerd. Like he builds shit like that. Like let's go out there and check him out." So we went down there, and it was this guy, older guy, probably like late 50s, and big thick glasses, and he's over there, and he's got this drone, all these LED lights, and he's like, "Oh hey," like he had this really weird voice. He talked like this. "Hey guys, how you guys doing? You guys doing
Sounds
okay?"
like Alex Jones.
Yeah, exactly. And we were watching him fly this drone for maybe like another hour, and man, if that, maybe like 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 30, 45. And he crashed it and fucked it up. So, anyways, he's like, "Oh, well, like, come upstairs. Like, let's, like, I'll get you guys a beer." So, all right, cool. So we go upstairs. He grabs us, a couple like Budweisers. We're sitting there, and still remember this, he has Jackass #2 playing on the TV. So he's like, "Oh, these Jackass guys, man, they crack me up. You like Jackass guys?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "Hey, you guys sit down and watch this. Enjoy yourselves." Or we're sitting down, and like we're drinking, watching, and kind of laughing. And we're like, "Man, this is crazy. Isn't this crazy?" And he's like, "Yeah." All of a sudden, a door opens up, and his like daughter walks out, and she's like, "Hey, who are you guys?" We're like, "Here with your dad." He's like, "Where's he at?" We're like, "We don't know." And she's like, "Okay." And she's like, "Wait." And she's like talking to us, and then he walks in, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, honey," blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "Whatever." So he's like, "Hey, come here, guys." So we go outside, and then now we're at his front door of his apartment. He's like, "All right, you're gonna go down the little canal." Literally, this is like how he sounds and how he says it. "You're gonna go down in the little canal, and there's a big box, and the long cord, the LED light. All right, and you just light it." And we're like, "What?" He's like, "Just go down to the canal, and there's a box and LED light." We're like, "All right." And then so we walk down to this canal he's talking about, and then we see this box, and a red LED light. So like we walk up to it, and I'm like, "What do we do?" And he's like, "I don't know." So we're just like sitting there watching this like thing for like 20 minutes, and like nothing's happening because we expect him to be like for him to trigger something. This dude's like a big old Inspector Gadget kind of guy, all right? So he's like, so I walk over there, and I'm like, I'm gonna go check this out, and I take a lighter and I light it for light, and I look at the end of this LED light, and it's connected to a fuse,
No.
and I'm like, yo, it's a fuse. Like, I think I'm supposed to light this. He's like, then light it. So then it just starts going. Dude, this thing's long. This is like some shit out of Looney Tunes, bro. Like, we're sitting there, like we go and we're sitting on this brick wall. We have a bottle of like was it like Jack Daniels or like Captain Morgan or something? And like we're sitting on this thing and we're like just watching this thing, this fuse sparkle all the way down in this box. And like, like all of a sudden, it gets to the end and boom, ooh, and like they start shooting fireworks. But bro, it's not like some fucking black like, dude. These are like some straight up like football game, like fucking 4th of July quality fireworks. This is like 2:30 in the morning, dude. And like they start going in the air, and it sounds like motherfucking Hiroshima up in that shit, dude. Popping off, boom, boom, and like our dumbasses are just sitting there like, oh fuck yeah, and bro, like fucking car alarms are going off and all this shit. So we're sitting there like, man, I love you, bro. This is the greatest night ever. All of a sudden, like a group of guys like run out, like they're wearing like wife beaters, some are in boxers. They all have guns and shit. They all like come out like looking around, and like, which is stupid. You hear fucking gunshots. Why are you gonna come out your house? Like, what are you, fucking Rambo? Like, I don't know. But nonetheless, they're like, hey, like, see us sitting there and like pointed the gun, like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like Mike's now freaking out because there's a gun pointed at us, and like I'm just like, oh, somebody's setting off fireworks. He's like, somebody's setting off fireworks, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, it's 2:30 in the morning. You guys are the only ones out here. I was like, yeah, they came from like over there. And he was like, okay, well, what leads you to believe that we don't think that it's you guys? And we're like, we're just sitting here, dude. Like, I haven't seen my homie. Like, and then like this other guy comes out. And this is the guy that freaked me out because he looked like he was like 70 years old. He came out in whitey tighties with like a revolver, like his hands shaking and shit. Like he has like PTSD or something.
Fuck.
So like, I'm like, oh shit. And then the other dude's just sitting there. He's like talking to us like this, like with a gun, like pointed at us.
Jeez.
And then I'm like, yo, dude, like, you really think you're fucking tough? Like, you're not scaring us. And then, like, Mike's like, Joey, shut the fuck up. He's like, shut the fuck up. Like, quit talking back to them. So I'm like, man, you guys ain't nothing but a bunch. I grabbed Mike and I just chucked him off that wall. And we dropped down. I was like, run, motherfucker. So we take off running. We, like, ran to this, like, Costco and, like, sitting there, like, okay. I was like, dude, let's just get back home. So now we fucking get back to our apartment complex. Have you guys ever seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
3 times.
So we were like walking around. All of a sudden, there's like this dude turns the corner, and he's like, "Let me see your hands." And it's like, "Whoa, like, yo, we're just coming for Circle K." He's like, "You guys hear any gunshots?" And we're like, "Oh no, like I ain't hear anything." Like, all right, it's probably best you guys get up to your apartment, or whatever. So we like get upstairs, we're like, holy fuck! Like cops were like swarming that place, so I feel bad about a little bit, like looking for, you know, shooters, which there wasn't any. It was, they probably found that thing, but yeah, no, dude, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like that moment in the Lord of the Rings caught with the caught Pippin and Merry with the fireworks, Chef Gandalf.
Yeah.
Meriadoc.
Yeah, wow. Man, that one was pretty crazy.
I mean, that's crazy enough on its own, but like on acid?
So with the wildest one though is probably when my friend Hope, she dosed me with like 1,400 micrograms.
Yeah, I also took 1,400 by accident once.
So yeah, well, they were
1,400 club.
7 of the 200 microgram gel tabs. She told me the night before, we had this type of relationship back in the day where we're just kind of like fucking with each other like that, like we dose each other. And she came on. Yeah.
Ain't no big thing.
She was like, dude, like I'm rolling balls. Like, guess what? Now you're candy flipping and like drop a tab on her tongue. But she had told me the night before. She's like, hey, dude, I got these like gel tabs. Like, I really want you to try them. Like, I'm gonna come over tomorrow. And I'm like, all right. But I had like got off work that night and I went to like this little bar with some coworkers and ended up just getting way too drunk. And then I woke up the next day and she came to my house and I like lived in this add-on part of the house. So I had like a door that led to the outside that, homies, when they came to my house, they would just come to that door just directly to my room. And so she had came in and she woke me up. She's like, wake up. I'm like, yo, I'm starting to trip. Wake up. I want you to take some. I was like, yeah. Like so hungover and like tired. And I was like, yeah, just give me like 10 minutes. I promise I'll be up. And then I just kept putting her off. She's like, dude, I'm just going to slip this in your fucking mouth if you don't wake up. I'm like, oh, dude, I'll be up. I promise. Just hold on. I was like, go get me some water or something. Just falling back asleep. And all of a sudden it's like someone turned the wheel on. And I just see her sitting there and she's like smoking weed and she has this big ass smile on her face. And I like feel like electric, bro. Like, I'm like, did you dose me? And she's like, maybe. And I was like, how much did you give me? And she was like, you're going to hate me. And I was like, how much did you give me? She's like, I told you to wake up. She's like, I put 7 in there. And I was like, am I going to be okay? She's like, you'll be fine. And then, dude, at Shpongle, it's funny. We sat there and we were just dude, I felt like I was in like the bricks. I was in a house with white bricks, but everything, I don't know if it was like the way the sun was hitting, everything turned gold and like looked like I was like in an Egyptian tomb. And bro, like at one point, like everything, like I'm like waving my hands in front of my face and like everything's like breaking up into fractals beyond it. And like we get this great idea, like, hey, we need to get some nitrous oxide. So we end up going to a smoke shop and getting nitrous oxide. And dude, like it was crazy. Like every time we would take a hit of it, it felt like I was like floating over the ocean. Like I was like flying and like the sun was setting over the ocean. And I kept getting this weird like alien language talking to me the whole time. Like, I don't know. It was crazy, but that whole experience like seems like a blur from when it happened, but yeah, that one was the wildest. Like I just remember that shit with my hands, like it looked like I had like 1,000 fingers.
Jesus.
Well, the nitrous, yeah, I used to.
Oh, yeah, what is that actually?
So it's these, it's
Have you been to the dentist?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know the laughing gas that they give you?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's essentially that. So they come in these little cartridges, and then you put it in you crack them, and it empties the gas into a balloon, and then you like huff the balloon, and it just, bro, like I don't even know how to explain it. You just get very like whoa, like how would you explain it?
From the lack of oxygen, is it that?
No, it is the effect of the laughing gas. But if you mix it, by the way, be careful. Yeah. But for fun stories, I used to do.
We're not condoning this per se.
Finally, the disclaimer arrives.
Yeah. We'll put one in the intro for everything. But mixing is always risky. But
yeah.
I used to take mushrooms and do some nitrous on top of that.
Yeah.
But okay, wait. I remember trying something like that came out of balloons. It was when I was traveling in Vietnam when I was 20 actually, and it was one of the probably in hindsight one of the dumbest things I ever did was breathe in out of one of those balloons because I got to the point of almost losing consciousness from it. Like I saw the world blackening and I was like, oh my God,
may have been actually.
It.
Did everything kind of go like wah?
Yeah.
That was nitrous oxide.
The thing is, it
felt like I was passing out.
It's not interesting on its own.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't offer much. On
probably drunk, honestly.
Yeah,
I end up like Steve-O.
Me and my friend, we had our nitrous song, we would go and we would smoke up and get blasted on weed. And then we would hit the nitrous and we had our nitrous song. We'd put it on at the same time and then we hit the nitrous.
Oh man.
What song was that?
It's called um it's by the artist Gate and the song was Alcubierre, like a French word. And it doesn't really exist anywhere except for on SoundCloud. But it's this
Okay.
heavy like trance dubstep type thing and he had an iconic experience where he described everything went black, but the only thing that existed was this disco ball, and it was
Yeah.
just him and this disco.
Party time. Are you
Oh,
what
wait.
like it's funny you say nitrous song. One of the things I used to do when I was like taking acid and like doing nitrous would be have headphones in, and one of my favorite things to do, speaking of Shpongle, would be like huff the balloon, and then right as I start to feel the effects, hit play on my head feels like a frisbee
Yeah,
because it's like womp womp womp, and it's like my head. You're like, "Wah!"
yeah. I knew you were gonna say that one. There was another story that came to mind now, actually, when I was doing this, when I was taking mushrooms and doing the nitrous, where we were doing it, it was in like a park area, and they had this kind of is the word swing the right word? It's like you hop onto this
A swing?
thing, yeah, and you just go down pretty fast, and it's
Oh, like a zip line almost.
like almost like a zip
You
line
mean
thing.
like
Okay,
a
yeah,
where
yeah.
there's like a thing hanging, like a swing hanging from it almost, and you jump
Yeah,
on
so
it,
so
and
we'd do that. We'd take the hit of the nitrous and then go on the zip
oh
lines
God,
on mushrooms.
Jesus Christ.
Like I'm flying through space.
It was actually kind of anticlimactic because you didn't really notice you were going fast. You're just like came to like, oh, this is finished.
Like, oh, I've stopped moving.
Yeah, sounds
That's
like it should
hilarious.
be fun, but it was.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm just discovering how many experiences are still unhad.
Yeah,
I mean,
Uh,
for
I'd say
some
just
people
stay away
though,
from the
yeah, it's
mushrooms.
the
It's
best to
just
shy away. I know we're like making it sound fun, which it had been in the past, but for some people it can be like that. That could be their thing, and
yeah.
like they go through cans of it. And it's ultimately not good for you, like
No. If you
so
do it
like
once or twice, like who cares? But it's like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You experience it, all right, but I mean, it's when you're sitting there and like all you're breathing in is nitrous oxide,
and you
like.
can see
mm,
pictures of Steve-O with his fucking mountains of cans.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually know somebody recently who has gone through nitrous addiction, and we didn't know how bad it was, and like they're receiving help for it now. But I mean, it's just like some people, man, it's just like Steve-O, like you said, like it's just
yeah.
like their thing, like, and
mm.
that's never a good thing.
It's never a good thing with anything when you start to do it
Yeah.
all the time. And I don't know if you want to go into it, but you spoke earlier, like now you're sober and you've dealt with addiction in the past. Um, it's I think it's something that everybody deals with in one form or another. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be substances. It can be porn or sugar or television or video games or phones or whatever. Um, uh, it just came to mind also because you listened recently to your story of the trip that got you sober.
Yeah.
Um, so what has been kind of the main catalyst for keeping you in that space?
Like sober?
Yeah.
Okay. So my drug of choice like is alcohol. I am a horrible alcoholic. I'm just not built to drink, but I love it. So I was very addicted to alcohol, and this was in 2020 when that I did have that trip, and it did get me sober, and actually ended up going to like a sober living place for I think it was 4 months. Um, and yeah, I got out and I kept my sobriety for a while, and what happened pretty much what happened was I told myself like, hey, like I did what most people kind of fuck up when it is comes to like relapsing, which is I'll do it right this time. Like I can drink socially, I'll have a couple beers, I'll limit myself.
That's where it gets you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so that was the thing. I spent enough time in sobriety, like being sober, to where I was like, okay, like hey, I can do this, and which I was doing all right until I wasn't. So the main thing that happened though was like what made me fall off of the deep end was the my father dying. Well, when my father passed away, it was
Yeah.
I fucking lost my mind, dude. Like my father was my best friend. Like he was the most sorry. I get a little emotional when I talk about him sometimes, but it
Okay,
happened.
brother. It's okay.
He was my best friend, dude. He was the funniest, most amazing dad that anybody could ever ask for. He cared about his children. He like it was very important to him to build like memories, like real, like just core memories, dude. And like he taught me a lot about like I never knew what I had until like he died. I mean, it's very cliche to say, but like living my life now, like experiencing it, and like I see other families and stuff, and like I now understand, and I never understood like how great I had it with my dad. Like how like I see children with like their fathers and how their fathers are, and it's so shitty, dude. Like, so I'm
Yeah.
grateful. Rest in peace, Dad. I love you. And when
Yeah.
he died, I lost my mind, dude. Like alcohol was the only thing that like kept me from like just made me forget or like made me feel better, I guess you could say. And like I hated the world. I hated God. Like I thought everything was so unfair, and all I wanted to do was drink, and I couldn't stop. Like that's all I could think about. And I was angry if I didn't, and I was angry if I did. Like I was just so mad. And it ruined the relationship I had with, my second baby's mom, the mother of my youngest child. We were already kind of like not meant for each other, but that kind of solidified it.
Mm.
So I was like homeless and all just a lot, dude.
Shoo.
And then got in a relationship that I'm with now, and I continued that. And our relationship was really bad because I was just a drunk, and one day we got in a fight, and because I was out of beer, and I wanted to get more beer. I'm very embarrassed about this, by the way. Like,
No,
but
props for sharing, man. It takes
Yeah, yeah,
courage.
yeah.
and I this was the day after Thanksgiving, and I got behind the wheel. I stole the keys of the car, and I started driving. Now, I'm not going to justify this at all. Like, I mean, it's not like I got in an accident or anything. Like, it wasn't anything detrimental. Drinking and driving in any circumstance is absolutely wrong, and I should not have done it. I didn't hit anybody or anything like that. It was just cops were looking for people like me, and by the grace of God, they found me. I'm to this day grateful that I got pulled over
Mm.
because this is what changed my life. So I had gotten pulled over and my license was suspended. Now, my license was suspended because of a previous DUI I had in 2017. So when the cop came up to my window, I just pretty much told him, I was like, hey, you got a good one today. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't have a license. It's suspended and I've been drinking. And then he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, like you're going to find out. And he was like, all right. So I ended up getting arrested, going to jail, and then I go to court. And when I go to court, I find out I have to go to prison because um, the fact that my license was suspended from a previous DUI and I'd been caught with another DUI that made it an aggravated DUI. And the state of Arizona, it's mandatory prison time. So,
Jeez.
yeah, so it's a big boy time. So
Jesus.
thankfully, I got the bare minimum of what the state requires you to serve, which is 4 months. So I have to do 4 months in prison. So I ended up going to prison, and while I was in there, it's a crossroads. Like my girlfriend was going to leave me. Like we were at a point in time where she was like, "I can't do this anymore." Like and but she was like, if you are serious and you get out and you stay sober, like we can continue this. But if you're going to be drinking, like you have to do, like I don't want you in my life no more. So there was that. And I knew like my father died because he was an alcoholic. He was a Marine. He served 4 years in Iraq in the Gulf War. He was also a police officer on the reservation. So he saw like a lot of fucked up, horrific shit.
Mm.
So he drank to deal with like the stuff that he had witnessed and through his time in the police department and stuff. And it killed him.
Mm.
While I was in jail, like I had to sit and I had to like really think and like I had to look at my life and like understand like I am so fucking depressed. Like I hate my fucking life now that my dad's gone and I don't have like the guy like I don't have him anymore. You know, me and my mom, I love her to death. We don't have that relationship that me and my dad had, you know? Like it's just that's just how it is.
Mhm.
And I just thought of my children, you know, like I know if I continue down the path that I'm on, like I'm just gonna die. Like I'm gonna go down the same path my father did. And I'm just gonna pass all this depression and everything that I have to my children. My son Bryson adores the fuck out of me. Me and him have the relationship that me and my father have. We're honest with each other. I know that no matter what the fucking situation is with my son, no matter how bad it is, he can always come up to me and he'll never lie to me because we have that trust,
Mm.
you know. And I know that if I continue to drink, it's not one. It's like if my dad got shot and killed in cold blood, and I went and made friends with his murderer and hung out with him every day,
Hmm.
you know. And not only that, but like if and then one day knowing damn well that he's gonna shoot me, kill me, and then my children are gonna. It's a just cycle, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, fuck that. You know, I refuse to give this pain and the suffering that I have to live with every day to my children. I refuse. If I have any say in this, I'm not like all it takes is to not fucking drink. And you know what? I had my fun. I don't fucking need that shit, you know? And that's what keeps me
Fuck yeah.
going every day is I look at my son and I know like I worried a lot in his life at the beginning stages of his life. Like my main focus a lot of the time was drinking. I drank a lot around him. I'm not proud of it, you know, and I was absent and I probably wasn't, you know, the most present father when he was younger because I was worried about partying and stuff. And now I know like I can change that, you know, like I'll be there for him and do what I got to do as a dad and be healthy. That's the most important part because I want to be able to be there for like his, you know, his ongoing trials and tribulations in life, you know, like there's so many times nowadays, like with everything going on in my life, like if I could turn to my dad, you know, maybe it could help a little bit. I can't, but maybe, you know, when I get my dad's age and my son's my age currently, I can still be there, you know, and that's what keeps me going every day is just, I want my children to be happy. And I know that, and my family, you know, and I know that, me not drinking makes them happier than I've ever seen in my life. That's my motivation.
Fuck yeah. Damn, that
Respect,
like
brother.
you gave
Nice.
me goosebumps, you know, my
Yeah, wow.
eyes started to tear up. It's like, you know, that's inspiring, man. I gotta
Yeah,
say.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I
incredible.
appreciate that shit. And dude, to be honest, man, it ain't no thing but a chicken wing now, bro. I don't crave it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be like, I go around to functions and stuff. Like, I still go to shows. Like, my friends, you know, have beers and stuff. Like, it doesn't bother me. There's not an
Yeah.
inkling of a craving or anything
Yeah.
like that. Like, not that, you know, I got to stay humble and know, like, hey, like, don't tell myself, like, you'll never want it because there
Yeah.
have been moments of, like, I'll smell beer and be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you know, but other than that, like, I just know, like, the relationship, like I said, like, me and my mom had a tumultuous relationship for the most part like it's because I was drinking, you know, it was because of that. Uh and now like me and my mom and like we're all like real tight knit, like we've never been before, and it's because I'm clear minded. I'm not blaming anger and I'm not getting drunk and saying like being sloppy, you know, like my mindset is so much more sharper now and like being able to deal with shit is so much easier and like instead of like not running away is like manning up and stepping forward, man.
Yeah,
Hmm.
man. And to anyone who's dealing with addiction, like this is how it actually goes. It's like when you are quitting it, it feels like the fucking hardest thing in the world. For me, it was kratom. It feels so tough, but once you get past that most difficult part, it gets easier and easier. And it can feel easy when you're in that difficult part of the
Yeah.
process. It feels like it's gonna be like that forever. And just remembering that it's gonna get easier and easier and easier the longer you stay on that
This
track.
too shall
And
pass.
yeah, I also have a little bit more motivation on top of that. But the thing is that for 4 months I could not drink. You know what I mean? Well, technically I could have because they have like prison alcohol and shit. But so when you go to prison, you have to everything's segregated, like sort of by the inmates. So you have to roll with your race. So I'm Native American, so I had to roll with the Native Americans. And like, so we were like technically a prison gang called a Warrior Society. So I joined Warrior Society, and they have rules, and you have to abide by these rules. One of the rules is that like we as natives in the prison world, we hold ourselves to a really high standard, and we don't get fucked up. So we don't smoke, we don't drink. We stay sober there. Of
Mm.
course, not everybody does. If the natives find out, like if you're native and they find out like you're getting fucked up, they just beat the shit out of you and they send you off the yard to a worse prison.
Jeez.
So yeah, so I had that motivation. But the thing is like that was my reality. That was my reality is there's consequences if I drank, but then I also just look around everywhere. Everywhere I look, there's razor wire, there's brick, there's bars, like there's inmates and shit who are in here for years. Like if I get out and I drink, I better get used to this shit because like this
Hmm.
is where I'm gonna end up. Like I'm on probation now. I get piss tested randomly. They're looking for alcohol. They don't care if I smoke weed. I can smoke weed all day. But
Awesome.
the fact is that my case involves alcohol, so I can't drink. Like even if I wanted to try to drink, like and try to sneak around, all they have to do is hit me one day, like, "Hey, show up here and piss," and I'm fucked. I'm going back to jail. So I
Wow.
have one, I don't want to go back to prison, and two, my family's happy and my children are happy. So those are my two main things. I will like walking into fucking restaurants whenever the hell I want. I like going outside and smoking a cigarette. Like I can't do that shit in prison. Well, yeah, technically I can smoke in prison, but you know what I'm saying? Like everyday
Yeah.
freedoms, man. Like
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that world is what awaits me. Like even if I don't get caught drinking, like by the probation or whatever, even if am able to successfully like hide it from my probation, I'm gonna just be an idiot and fuck up, you know? So it's a dead end street no matter which way I
Yeah.
look at it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I liked your analogy of hell earlier. It's like I think like life can be both heaven and hell, but it's like you're describing like a real, you know, pathway to hell, basically.
Yeah. I mean that's you look at it that way, man, that's the devil. Like
Yeah.
it's the devil saying like, "Hey, come here, I'll make you feel good. I'll make you forget, dude. Don't you fucking worry." But the devil, you don't play with the devil, man.
Yeah. We've all
Man,
done it a few times, you know.
Hey,
He's a
you
cool
know,
guy to hang out with sometimes, but once you invite him into your house,
yeah,
you know,
he's better across the street.
yeah. Yes.
man, yeah, I love what you said about taking responsibility as a father just before then, man. That was beautiful, beautiful sharing. I've been thinking about a lot about like the how lucky I am as well to have a dad who cares, you know. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's just so many. I don't know the statistics on this, but I wouldn't be surprised to find out that the majority of dads don't care. Um,
yeah.
and
It's
it's like,
surprising to me, man. Like, now that I've just because before I didn't really deal with people's kids and shit. Like I was out raving and everything, but now I'm like an older, kind of like hanging out. Like I meet friends of friends and stuff, and like I hear about like just it just remind like I know a couple kids whose father does not care much about like he cares about them, gives a shit if they live or die, but he rather advance himself, like instead of getting like, hey, you guys are gonna have a shitty Christmas this year because I need to get that, I need to get the new fucking
mm,
sound system, da da da. Like he doesn't give a shit. Like he doesn't teach him to go out and skip rocks and stuff like
mm,
that.
he
Like,
doesn't
like
spend
little
time with
shit
them.
like that. Like, and they long for it, and I see it in them, and like like I said, like now I see that in life, like it brings me to tears whenever I like talk with my girlfriend about it. She's like, "You're so like," she's the one who kind of like explain like look at like how these other kids are. A lot of them like they're just stuck on their iPads now, and their parents just shove it in their face. Like, Harry, don't do that. You know,
Yeah.
like you don't have a dad that like hikes up mountains, like sacred mountains with you and takes you
Yeah.
like all these places. So I'm very blessed, man. He was a wonderful, wonderful fucking
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Incredible luck because the
Yeah.
bar is so freaking low
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
fathers.
care if they live or die.
That's like
That's
the basically, and some people would even like be okay with not even that being there, you know. It's like that's how low the bar is. I mean, like some people wouldn't call it a bad father, even with that one
Yeah.
removed. I think like you're just not expected to take any fucking responsibility
Yeah.
whatsoever, you know. Or so yeah, I look forward to not being that type of dad.
yeah, and
So
I
it's
really liked what you
inspiring to hear
touched
from
on
others.
is breaking the cycle.
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah.
I think that's a big theme for. I see this so much more now than I used to. People becoming aware of their generational trauma and realizing that there have been these patterns repeating through generations, and that you actually have a power to break that cycle, which is
Yeah.
like
Yeah. See, like, and that's the thing too. Like being Native American, like we're so susceptible to alcohol. I mean, it's ran through my, father's side because I'm half. My mom's white. I'm half Native on my dad's side. But all that's ran through that, I've lost so many family members because of drinking. And yeah, it's just we're not meant for it. That's how they controlled us when they first got here. It's how we lost it all is because of it. That's the truth of the matter.
Really?
Yeah,
Alcohol.
yeah, because so if you really think about it, like you have like ancient Greece and all that shit, that drinking wines and all that stuff. We didn't do that. So like when they came over here, like we didn't know what alcohol was, and then they introduced alcohol to us, and all of a sudden we're dumbed down and fighting and fucked up, and that's how they're able to manipulate us and take our lands and shit.
Right. Oh, I've never actually thought about that. Not like, yeah, I get, but aren't there, wait, there are grapes in America. Are there grapes in America? Or
There
wild
is, but
there,
I
you
don't think
know,
we
back in,
fermented them and drank them. I know
yeah,
we used peyote and plants such as that, but I don't think
yeah,
it's anything as far as rotting or fermenting.
got it. Interestingly, when that one Viking way back when discovered America, apparently before Columbus, um, Leifur Hapni. Am I getting my history right? Helgi, can you confirm? I think
yes,
that was Leifur Hapni. Or
yes.
was it Eirik? No, it was not
Uh,
Eirikur. Anyway,
Leifur
it,
Eriksson, I think
Leifur
was his
Eriksson probably.
father.
It was
Yes.
one of those Viking dudes way back in the day, and
Hmm.
he went over from Iceland. He was like, "Fuck it, what if I just go west?"
Somebody was on a mission, like, hey, I wonder what happens. That's
Yeah,
how
like
boring Iceland is, I'll
And
tell you.
apparently he found America, like he found Canada. He landed in Canada and he called it Vinland, which means wine land.
huh.
Um, so just a funny little irony there that you didn't have the wine. Uh,
Oh, there you
despite
go.
that, that's
Yeah, like they don't even
I think
sell.
because of all the grapes. So that's why I thought. Anyway, yeah. But
Yeah, they don't sell alcohol on our reservations at all. You still get it, but yeah, they our nations are usually all dry just because we're so susceptible to alcohol. Fucks
Mhm.
everything up.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not. There's no genetic tolerance that's been built up for
yeah,
it. Mhm.
yeah,
So it sounds like you're describing there's a lot of kind of communal awareness of it now that the people are actually kind of looking out for each other.
yeah. Well, see, that it's one of our main problems on the reservation is still drinking. Yeah, like that's why they don't sell it. But the thing is fucking where something is not allowed, organized crime takes over. So
Mhm.
there's bootleggers, pretty much people who buy alcohol and then they sell it out of their house out there.
Mhm.
But everyone knows like it's best to not drink out there. Everyone can see it. Like we call it, hey, that dude's over there getting brewed out. Like, oh, they're all brewed out over there. Don't go over there. They're brewed out. Like, you're gonna get in a
Is-
fight. Natives get fucking angry when they drink, bro.
mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what you're touching on is essentially it's just hard to control. Like prohibition is a tricky
yeah,
thing, but
yeah,
it's not usually the way to go. Treating the underlying issues is usually,
Hmm.
it's whenever you try to suppress it, it just goes, into the black market and
It just
usually
yeah.
becomes even more toxic. And
comes out the wrong end, you might say.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But how much time do we have? Are you you know?
I do got to get running here in a little bit, but I got like a couple more minutes.
My
Okay,
stomach
cool.
is calling as well. I would like to get the
All
dinner and
right.
get
Yeah,
to
it's
bed at some point. But
just such an interesting dude and such a wealth
that's
of interesting topics to
yeah,
dive
man.
into.
I mean, I was gonna say it was like half an hour ago, and then you dove into your father's story and all that, and I was mesmerized. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope I did well for you guys, man.
Totally, totally. And
there's no
just
Yeah,
pressure.
man.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
And
No pressure.
But
I mean, usually we don't expect our guests to put on a show. Honestly, usually we allow it to be a little bit of banter and fun.
yeah, we just
yeah.
hang out.
But yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
haven't
the
done much on
stories
my
obviously are
channel
great.
lately. I have been like I've been wanting to. I thought, getting out of prison, like when I got out, like my main thing was, hey, I'm just gonna step out of the light, and I got to focus on myself. I don't want to jump back in that world of, hey, psychedelics, hey, you know what I mean? Like, but I
Straight out
still
of prison.
to this day, people still are like, yo, you got to tell your stories, whether it's psychedelic or not. Like, we miss them. So,
Yeah.
sometime soon, I'm going to work it up. And I got more stories to tell. So,
You're such a
Nice.
gifted storyteller as well. It's
thank you,
like
man.
Man,
it's
really.
so engaging. Not only do you have, super interesting stories, but you really give this feeling of just gathering around the campfire and just going on a
Yeah,
journey down the rabbit hole.
it's
Oh,
quite the
yeah, man.
honor to
Thank you
get
very
this
much.
kind of 2-on-1 exposure to you. Honestly, I was thinking that as you were telling one of your stories before. Like, damn, we're in a room with this guy. It's pretty
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah. Yeah. What?
you've impacted like hundreds of thousands of people with your stories.
It's pretty crazy, huh, to think about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. What's awesome is like I'll just be in random places and some people will like why that's always the coolest fucking part is when somebody recognizes me like are you Icarus480? And I'm like, yeah, dude. And yeah, it's always wonderful, man. It's really cool. Like it happened. I mean, I haven't done it in a couple of years, and I was at Walmart here in this small town in Prescott. Some guy walked up to me at the self checkout, and he's like, "Dude, Icarus, bro, your videos, bro. Like, your whole reason I took mushrooms. And dude, you're the shit." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, cool. It's cool."
Yeah.
That means you're doing something right.
Hey, but I mean, I'm glad, man. I don't want to be like it's all the psychedelics, speaking through me. I just their potential deserves to be out there, and I'm just spitting it like it is. The
Yeah.
truth
Yeah.
should be given to the world in any way it can, and if I have a little piece in it, then God damn it, here I
Yeah.
am.
I think
Aho.
you have more than a little piece in it, you
Yeah.
know.
Got,
Oh yeah, thank
got
you, man.
quite a bit to share. Is there? Yeah. I mean, that feels like a great note to end it on.
All right.
There's some. But anything else you want to share to finish off? Any?
Yeah, I just want to say to anybody out there who's listening to this, I just want to say love yourself, man. Don't get too caught up in this negative aspect. You have to learn to weave through and find the positive in life. Like I've hit rock bottom. I know how it feels to be completely hopeless and worthless and feel like you can't. I promise you can. And always believe in yourself because you can make it all happen no matter what. And I'm living proof of it. Like things can seem impossible, and with a strong mind and a will, you'll get through it. And remember that shit. I love y'all. Peace, love, and smoke DMT. I'm Icarus480.
Fuck yeah.
Aho. Catch you on the next one.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, wait, where you going? We gotta drop in here with the outro song.
Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? We got a good one for you today.
Yeah,
We,
it's my song Mystical Morning Blue off my The Cosmic Circus album.
Mhm.
And it happens to feature Icarus with some vocal samples in there.
What was he
Um,
saying on there? He said that.
it's from a trip report. He's talking about the sky was incredible. It looked like
Okay. It was hard to make out.
mystical morning blue. Yeah, it was kind of. I slowed it down and I kind of made it trippy.
It was yeah.
Um,
It was fun. It's a
and
very very good song. We always listen to them and then drop in for the outro conversation. This
yeah,
one really got me on a journey, man. Really loved it.
yeah, it's one of my favorites that I've made. And I was playing with the Mixolydian soundscape, which is kind of
Right.
like a major scale, but you drop the seventh, so it's a little bit closer to minor, and it's very happy. It was inspired by the musician Ott, who makes like these really happy dub psychedelic.
Yeah, but yeah, you got that. You got that bit where you're going from the one major to the five minor in the Mixolydian
Yeah.
borrowed chord shenanigans. But then you go into this crazy chord progression that blew my mind, where you go to the flat two for a second there, I think, or the flat six. I wasn't quite sure. It was hard to tell.
Yeah, I was kind of switching between some major and minor chords there in the end, kind of working with the Phrygian dominant sound,
Hmm.
which is similar to um Mixolydian.
That was
You
beautiful.
jazz people have different
We got
name for
names
the
for all this
Phrygian
stuff.
dominant.
Yeah, we got
What's the Phrygian dominant in
that's
jazz?
the altered scale. Is it
No,
not?
it's n-
Wait.
no,
Oh
it's
wait,
it's
no. I
Mixo B
I
six.
forgot what the Phrygian. Oh, is it just a Phrygian with a major third? Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Phrygian
Yes.
dominant. Yeah, yeah.
We would call that right. I see what you're saying. So we would call that Mixolydian flat
B6,
2,
B2.
flat 6. Yeah,
Uh,
B2, B6, or
yeah.
B9, B13.
Minus
Some
15
cases.
divided by 4. Us metal people, we say
It's
Phrygian
a
dominant.
Phrygian dominant. Well, you gotta. I think the most important thing is to remember that it's a five of the fifth.
Harmonic,
Or yes,
harmonic
fifth
minor.
mode
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
harmonic minor scale.
And yeah, so yeah, I changed the kind of harmonic landscape there in the end to make it extra dramatic, and I have like a, a melody happening in the left ear and another one in the right ear, and they're
Yeah,
interplaying in a
you're
very
switching up
cinematic way.
switching up the soundscape quite a bit.
Yeah,
So,
and the bass coming in strong. I gotta give some props to Arnaldur from the Icelandic psychedelic rock band Lucy in Blue.
okay.
Because I sent the demo to him and he was like, dude, this is a banger. You just gotta switch up the bass a bit, and then it's like it's fire. And I was like, well, true. So I redesigned the bass and I made it much more punchy.
Did he tell you how to do it too, or did you
No, he
figure it out?
just put the idea in my mind.
Mm.
I don't know if you know Lucy in Blue. Um,
I don't.
but okay. They're like the Icelandic Pink Floyd. I don't think they're active anymore. But they're doing Pink Floydy
Pink
type stuff.
Floyd are the British Lucy in Blue.
Right, that's a better
It's,
way
uh,
to put it.
it's
Um,
well,
but yeah, but I don't think there's anything more to say about it. But for me, I was really borrowing kind of the dub reggae style from Art, making like a really happy thing, and it's staying in one key, and then this chord progression is coming in, but it's still staying in on one chord, and then everything starts to join the chord progression, and then the chord progression shifts, and I'm doing a lot of atmospheric stuff. Um, so yeah, and pay attention in the finale. There's this quick, almost guitar-like line playing these fast triplets, and at one point, one ear starts to do one harmony, and one starts to do another one.
mm,
So there's a lot of stuff like this happening.
okay, I'm listen back to that with that in mind. So don't worry, guys, if you didn't understand any of the music theory jargon that we threw at you before, you will definitely feel the Mixolydian scale hit, whether you
Yeah.
know what it is or not. And the Mixo B9, B13 is going to be even, it's just going to hit even harder, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, so without further ado, enjoy.
Enjoy Mystical Morning Blue.
Like that. Mystical morning.